Take a look.
It's Friday morning, April 18th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. I'm here for the first 10 to 15 minutes, and I just want to give Jeremy's voice a break. But hope y'all are doing well. It is a fabulous Friday, as I said. WrestleMania is around the corner. We got plenty to talk about. They do. I don't. I'm just a vessel through which I appear and say his name. I'm not that guy. But there's an interview over on the other channel with him. SP3 is here, as he always is, filling in, being the man. I appreciate you. Did the Collision post show last night as well as the trooper that he is. How are we all doing? Jeremy, are you surviving? I'll start with you.
No, as people can tell by my voice. So I didn't say this to you off air. I was getting to that, but then I wanted to start the show. Didn't go to bed till super late because of Bloodsport. Woke up in the middle of the night, probably like 5 o'clock. I woke up multiple times in the middle of the night, but worst one, woke up, dead sleep, got up and threw up. Just got sick, went to the bathroom, just threw up. And then, so I'm running on about 4 hours of sleep, and none of it was good because I was vomiting in the middle of the night. But I'm here, it's WrestleMania weekend. Got shit to do. How you, SP3?
I am doing all right. I need sleep, but I'm here. My sleep, even though it was very sparse, I did get good sleep, so I'm doing better than you. But I will do my best to fill in the void after Joel's 10 to 15 minutes of being here. And now I feel kind of bad that when I saw Joel, when I popped in, I was like, "What are you doing here?" Now I feel bad, but because he's here to help out, so I appreciate you, Joel.
I'm just saying I'm here to help out. Really, I just want to see my face on the screen. That's all.
It's fair. It's fair. You don't want to break your streak.
I don't, even though I am known for running from the grind, but not this week, damn it. This week we are locked in. It was out Bloodsport last night. I know you guys are going to talk about that and all the other stuff going on, but I got to say, Collective has been a lot of fun. Shout out to the Palm staff. They have been very accommodating. They're not dicks, which is nice. If you're walking around with the media badge, they're very accommodating, letting you kind of walk around and get footage as needed. You guys saw there's a lot of stuff up on our socials, entrances, comments, all that stuff. Nobody got in my way, which was super wonderful. Really appreciate everyone just kind of letting me do my thing. And it's been fun. And also people who have approached me and like said hi. That's been so cool. You ever been recognized at a Del Taco?
Del Taco? No.
Yeah.
Elevator was the best I could do. Somebody recognized me in the elevator at All Out Weekend 2021. That's the best I could do.
Did you ever tell Joe the story about the guy in the front of the bar in North Carolina when we went to Revolution? Did you ever tell him that story?
I think I said it on air. Who thought I was Brian?
You said
Alvarez.
it on air, but I don't know if he was here. I know I was
Oh.
here when we talked about it, but I don't know if you ever told Joel.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if I haven't, but yeah, we went to the bar. It was me and Sean originally, and then we met up with SP3 and his friends. But yeah, we go to the bar, and Sean got recognized, and Sean and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm a big wrestling fan." He's like, "You're better than Meltzer and everything." And Sean goes, "Oh, do you know who this is?" And the guy's like, "Brian Alvarez," and I'm like, "Ah, fuck."
That always pops me. That always pops me.
So Josh was there, yeah.
Why didn't you just turn to him and just be like, -5 stars?
I like Alvarez. I got no beef with Alvarez. I think he's hilarious, honestly. Like, I don't want to say that like I mimic Alvarez. I listened to a lot of Alvarez when I was in like college and everything. So it's definitely a little influential. I'm sure people can hear it when my inflection goes up and down. Sometimes you can maybe hear it. I might sound like Alvarez. So I got no issue with Alvarez. He's cool. Never met him, but I think he's cool.
Let's just get right to the basics. Let's get to the important stuff. It's WrestleMania season. We got to point to the sign. Allegedly, point to the sign. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you haven't already. These two guys have been locked in and keeping it absolutely killer. Thank you guys. And while you're at it, of course, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't left that thumbs up, then subscribe to the channel. Do that right now. And if you really want to help us, you really want to support us, you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or your statement read on the air. And you also get to drive the conversation. Our pal Ken Bruno in the chat saying, "Happy Friday, gang. My hotel here in Vegas has a cut couch, not a chair. Guess it's fancy. Wishing you good health, Jeremy, a productive content day, Joel, and always good to see SP3. Ken, if you're around today, shoot me a DM. I'd love to say hey because you're always here and you're fantastic. So give me a shout if you're hanging around, and let's link up. Let's say hi. And also, you sent another one, and it's just blank, but you're always in the chat, so we do appreciate you. And hopefully, you're having the best time so far in Vegas. Did you go to After Dark? That's my question. Did you go to WrestleMania After Dark Night 1?
Or did you go to the final Wale Mania ever?
They called the final. I missed out.
Was it the final one?
You didn't see his post? Wale said that this is the final Wale Mania. He
did 10 years.
Yeah, he made it to 10 years. He was asked by one of the fans, why is it the last one? And he says it was a labor of love, and I'm just not in love with it anymore.
Okay.
Netflix took over and was like, here's what we want to do. And he's like, never mind.
I'm just saying, I mean, is that a coincidence or is that a coincidence? I don't know.
Next year, it's going to be like Wale Mania Light featuring Big E.
It's
sponsored by
Weekend.
WWE.
It's going to be Weekend Mania. Weekend just going to take
I'm all
this
about
over.
it. Hell yeah. Abel Mania, let's go.
Have you seen Ken? If you and Joel meet up, please punch Joel in the face. That's all I ask.
That's true. Got to meet up with our pal Adam Barnard yesterday. Sat with him at the LFG panel for a bit, and then up in the press room. It was good stuff. I saw Cam the other day. Ran into a lot of media friends so far, and today will be a busy one. The original time for media today was supposed to be 12:30, and then yesterday they sent an email out saying it's now 8:30 in the morning, which for me is fantastic. I've listened to all my friends complain about it, and I'm like, I wake up at 6:30, so let's go. I've been up. Let's get it going.
You messaged me last night and you're like, hey, did you know the media thing changed? Like, I don't know what the original time was. So no, I did not know it changed. And you're like, yeah, it's now like 8:30 in the morning. I was like, when was it originally? Like 1:30. I was like, well, that makes sense to me. I figured it's always early. I feel like the 12:30 or 1:30 time was the odd time because I feel like it's always at like 10 at the very latest. So I was shocked it was so late originally. Everybody's got to be on McAfee's show. McAfee's doing his live show at 12, and like Austin, Roman, Triple H, they're all going to be on. That's going to be a lot of listening for me. I've already listened to CM Punk this morning. I listened to a lot of stuff last night. Big E's a scoopster. You guys see this? Yeah. Big E just breaking the news.
Oh, yeah.
Rusev coming back. Watching Fanatics live signing, and Big E's just like, they pull a Rusev card, and Big E's like, hey, he's coming back. And Tyler Breeze is like, huh? What? He's like, no, I reached out. I confirmed him. He's coming back. I was like, look at this scoopster out here. Big E.
Good for him.
Man of the people. They brought up Evolution 2, and I don't know who the person is. Craig. They mentioned him. I'll say it. So I'll say his name. They asked Charlotte about Evolution 2, and Charlotte's like, oh, yeah, I'm really excited. And then they look over, and Biggie's like, oh, Craig's telling us no, don't mention that. You guys are going to get in trouble on this stuff.
I don't know. Like, so, Jeremy, you listened to the Bella podcast, and like not too long ago, Nikki kind of dropped the hint without saying it. She's like, I'm really excited for something in July, but I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that, though. I know a lot of people kind of assumed that, but the Bella's got so many projects going on. Like, I know Nikki was on the Fanatics signing live thing as well, and she talked about that like Bonita has like, they're doing something at WrestleMania. That's their wine company. They have like a speakeasy or something around there, so they're doing stuff around there. So Nikki has her hands in so many pots that honestly, like, yeah, you could maybe say it was a hint at Evolution, but it wouldn't shock me if they were announcing some like clothing line or something in July, honestly.
It'd be funny though. There was Papa Tui at the WWE World. Should I go pick some up?
Okay, they got Mana? They got the
I didn't notice Mana. They have a tattoo booth. I'm gonna go around and do like a proper walkthrough.
Can you get a face tattoo?
I am not going to do that.
Why?
I know our pal Adrian is talking about getting an unlikely tattoo.
Can you get a frosted Yeats?
Yeah, did you try the frosted Yeats?
No, I didn't spend a lot of
Wow.
time there yesterday. I went to go pick up my credentials and like just see some people. It's there all weekend, so I'll probably go and run through it today or tomorrow. A couple of things. So first of all, why they moved the junket back.
Oh,
Oh, did Joel freeze? Oh, I'm not used
yeah,
to
I think
that.
so. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
not used to that either.
Las
It was
Vegas
like-
internet got his ass.
It was like you said 10 minutes, sir. We're at the 10-minute mark, and they
That's true,
said
actually.
you're cut.
That's true.
Cut you
Joel
right
should-
on there.
Joel should get a I hate AEW tattoo at there. I bet they do that for free. Honestly, they're like, oh yeah, all
They'd be
right,
like, yeah,
yeah,
stand
that's
up. They'll give him a stand up for WWE shirt and everything.
Yeah. That's a fantastic freeze frame. Make a thumbnail out of that and just bring it to Joel and show him when you meet him.
They take the screenshot and just make a thumbnail.
Look at this double Joel.
Oh,
It was Joel Septon for a second.
You know, you want to know what it was? It was actually because every 24 hours the Wi-Fi like it makes you re-sign in. Apparently, I hit my 24 hours. So, so
right
I
on the
inquired about it.
10-minute mark, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Right on the 10-minute mark.
Did exactly what I needed to do. So I'll be quick because then I got to go. The reason I was given was because international talent were still flying in and they weren't sure if they were going to be in town in time for the junket. So they moved everything back once they realized the people we need are here in town. And of course, FIFA Selected reported that talent weren't really expected to be here until Friday, but obviously those with media obligations were accommodated early. So that's what's going on there. In terms of talent today that we are advertised to talk to, world champion Gunther, Lyra Valkyria, the women's intercontinental champion, Dakota Kai, the War Raiders, Stephanie Vaquer, of course, the NXT women's champion, and Ricky Saints. So that's who's on the docket for today. Whether or not there's the other double secret junket going on, I've been told that's in the air, but we'll see about it. That's where we're at.
I didn't really have any questions for anybody. I felt bad because you asked like, oh, do you have any questions for people? I'm like, not really. I
filled out my questions.
Yeah,
the War Raiders are the only ones where I'm just like, I got a couple really good ones, and I'm like, what else do I ask the War Raiders?
Because like Gunther's done a bunch of interviews. Vecker, English is her second language, so I don't really know like what to ask her. Maybe follow up on like the tattoo she said she was going to get of the Rumble and see if she's done that yet, because that was a big thing.
I should do that. I didn't actually realize that was still up there.
Yeah. So that was a big thing with her. I just listened to a Lyra interview last night, and I was trying to see if she said anything that I could maybe get you to follow up on. But Lyra's a good interview. It's just she doesn't have a ton to say about
I've got
stuff.
plenty to ask Lyra.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to ask about the rain effect. I'm going to ask about the match with Meiko Satomura and NXT UK. We're going to talk about empty arena tapings at BT Sport at the time. And what was the other one that we're going to talk about Nightwish, because she's a big Nightwish, the band fan. And I love Nightwish. So we'll talk about a little bit about music. Yeah. I've got, like I said, I got just about everyone. Gunther, you know what we're going to talk about with Gunther? We're going to talk about WXW Ambition, which is the German version of Bloodsport. And Gunther, according to FIFA Select, was at Bloodsport last night. So we're going to talk about that and whether or not he would maybe jump into a Bloodsport ring, among other stuff.
He's done Bloodsport before. He did the original.
Now I'm talking as Gunther, not as Walter.
Right. You should ask him about the PCO. You should ask him about the PCO match way back when at Janela Spring Break. That was the match that like people really put him onto like the American scene and realized like, oh, PCO, this guy is still around and is killing it and having great matches. So that might be one. I was gonna say
year that was.
I'll look it up right now.
2017, I bet.
Yeah, I think it's like 2017 if I'm not mistaken.
I'll double check you. I was gonna ask about Lyra. You should ask her. It was 2018. Janela Spring Break 2. Yeah. You should ask Lyra. You should just show her the short of SP3 singing her song and be like, "Can you rate this?"
Why are you going to show the War Raiders the time when I had a long beard and long hair and be like, "Can I join you guys?"
No, I need you to really show her the video and ask her how well is this? Should we be copyrighted for this? Because he does it so well.
Ricky Saints, by the way, I'm asking the burning question on this show: where is the street fight? We are going to talk about the tweet.
Yeah, as
For those who are unaware,
there's a street fight tomorrow, or I don't remember what day it is, but do you know where the Sin City street fight is? And I hope it just replies in Sin City, you big dumb bitch.
we are absolutely going to talk about that tweet. And of course, Paul London's been on our show praising Ricky, so we'll talk about that. I want to know if he's still a Devils fan because he's been photographed in Devils gear, and fashion tips for men because some wrestling fans, especially men, need a little bit of extra help in the fashion game.
Ricky's been photographed in Devils gear?
Yeah, when he was with
Devils?
AEW. Yeah, when he was with AEW and they were working Prudential Center, he's had Devils gear on.
Oh, I feel like
but he's also worn it in other shoots, or at least posted other photos of him in it.
Okay. What did he really think about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance? Or did he just get the meat?
Yeah, he did use the meme after he signed. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I bet you this is one that hold on, I'm just writing it down. I'll bet you that's one that Hernandez is going to ask about.
Probably.
Maybe
ask first.
Yeah, ask him first. Ask him first. That's the goal.
Tell Ricky before the camera starts rolling. Should just say, I know you're used to talking to Jeremy and Sean, but they're the B team. You're dealing with the A team now.
That's right.
That's
on top of that, we'll have a good time. We're going to ask Dakota Kai about the Kiwi burger in New Zealand, and if she's ever tried it. It's a burger with beetroot and egg on it, which sounds delicious, and other stuff. We'll talk about some wrestling, but really we're here to mess around. We're going to talk. I'm going to ask her about the NXT Battle Royal, the Halloween Battle Royals of fabled consequence. It'll be a fun few chats.
You got what was you have partner promo punch of the face for everybody?
I don't for everyone. If you have ones, just DM them to me or text them to me because I got to start moving. But I have one for Dakota, and I'm really just using because I got to keep it a little relevant. I'm going to use the Damage Control Sisters and Bailey just to do that. And if you got other ones that you want to pitch at me,
Gunther,
I think
Rimkamp or Imperium, like you could just do that. You could do groups with Gunther.
And by the way, Jeremy, yes, I'm absolutely going to ask Gunther if he will yeet.
Oh, you're just going to ask him to yeet? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Like, will you yeet? At the very end, that's it. That's the end of it.
I hope he chops you and when you ask that.
Not happening.
That would rule. I hope he just chops the shit out of you.
That would be awesome.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening.
It'd be like Big Van Vader in that reporter from Kuwait. It'd be awesome. Get all the clicks.
For Stephanie Vaquer, I'll probably ask her the main event participants do partner promo punch in the face with the stand and deliver main event. They're not the main event, but they are the women's main event. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at. It's going to be a busy day. It's going to be a fun one. I might try to check out WrestleCon if Kimmy lets me in, and that'll be a fun, busy day of me walking around in a suit looking special and important. I'm not.
He's important, guys. This guy is important.
No. Although I will say, wearing a blazer to a wrestling event and running around does make me feel important. Self-righteous, even. Wait.
I'm happy.
You probably shouldn't say that out loud. Anyway, I'll be at spring break tonight, so if you happen to be there, I will be there too.
Hey, nice.
Tell Janela we said hello. Always great. Ask him about Baywatch 3. And
yes. So ask them if they confirmed any other co-stars in Baywatch 3. And Joel, before you leave, what was the best match at Bloodsport for you?
I know a lot of people are really enjoying Natty's match, and I thought that was fantastic. I really enjoyed Cross's match with JR Kratos because they just beat the crap out of each other. And you could tell Cross was super into it, and Kratos too, but like Cross having the hometown advantage and just he was the star of the show without overtaking the show in a way. Like they gave him the mic at the beginning. He had a great 1 minute promo on the nose. I'm like, this dude hit his mark because I needed a short and he hit it like 1 minute. So that was great. But great matches throughout the night. But yeah, Natty and Cross had fantastic matches. And then Gresham and ZSJ had like a different presentation for Bloodsport. So it was good stuff.
I think like the Natty match was good, but the whole presentation of Natty, absolutely
Oh,
ruled.
Yeah, it's like night and day. It's like, Jesus, why can't she get a little bit of this in WWE, please?
So I was told that Natty would be coming out to Killing in the Name of ahead of
Yeah.
like earlier in the night, and I was just like, and because I was getting all the entrances, I was like, I have to get this, and then God, it was so cool to see, and it wasn't just the song; like she did a remix of it, and it was just really perfect for her presentation. And then I didn't see her get into it with Kenzie Page.
That
I
ruled.
like, and
That
so
role
because that was
too.
happening on
Yeah.
the opposite side of where I was standing, so I texted Sean because I didn't see any screenshots yet, and I was like, was that planned? Like, was that a fan or whatever? And then I saw the screenshot and I replied like, oh, never mind, it's Kenzie, that rules. And it's so cool that like Natty's just out here doing it. It's great. And I ran into her afterwards on her way out because at Palms you have to go through the front doors to get in and out. So all of the WWE wrestlers are like walking by the main entrance, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for an Uber, man. I don't want to do this.
Absolutely ruled that she fought Yamashita after the match and then was shoving with Kenzie Page. I didn't recognize it was Kenzie Page at first. Then the announcers
Me either.
mentioned it was her. Like I didn't think it was a actual fan and that Natty was trying to fight or anything. I was like, oh, who's she getting into it with here? I'm like Gabe Kidd, who I'm pretty sure was trying to kill this kid.
That little
out there
kid,
and wanted
Gabe Kidd.
to
Oh,
wanted to punch
so
this kid in the face.
he
I'm
starts
pretty sure that-
smiling with Josh Barnett. And he's like,
and then he calls out Clark Connors, and I happen to like just like tilt up, and I'm like, oh, he's right there, just having the time of his life when he called him out. So that was fun. No, the Gabe Kidd, the finale match was really really well done, especially just because Barnett and Kidd have that background, right, training together, and everything they said in the post match words were just. It was great. It was emotional. It fit. But yeah, Gabe is one of a kind. He's a little shit, and it's fantastic. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go hop an Uber. I gotta go put on pants. So I will see everyone at Media Day or whenever. Interviews are gonna drop as a batch. So tell your friends we're not just gonna slow release them. They're all coming out one at a time as they are sent out to Sean and Jeremy. So have fun with that.
I'm not doing any of this work.
Good. Do it at all. Do
Bye,
Gabe Kidd
Joel.
versus the Rizzler right now.
Oh, that's gonna rule.
He needs it. All right, guys. Take care. Have fun. See
Enjoy
you.
yourself.
take care, Joel.
A couple super chats here. Hannah, our pal, Share Delaware, says Joel Pearl trying to drop scoops and they nuked him. Yeah, internet just got cut. D'Lo saying sad about WrestleMania, but Bloodsport absolutely ruled last night. I need Natty Neidhart. Yeah, like Natalia, that whole presentation was absolutely fantastic with her. Bloodsport's always one of my favorite events. I was talking to Joel off air beforehand. I was like, I enjoyed it. It was a little long because I feel like most Bloodsport events are like 2.5 hours, and this one was every bit of 3. I probably would not have minded that if the show had started at 8 and went till 11, but because it started at 11 and went until 2, and I'm already not feeling at my best, I'm like, I say it all the time on this show, SP3. Like, I don't care that AEW runs a 4-hour pay-per-view. You want to run a 4-hour? Fine. Start the show at 7 and end it at 11. Quit starting at 8 and end it at midnight. I don't care how long the show is. I care about what time the show starts and what time the show ends. So that was my only issue with Bloodsport last night. Is it started late, it ended late, and it's going to be the same thing tonight with Janela Spring Break because I don't think that thing starts until like 11, and it's going every bit until like 2 a.m. as well.
I'll watch like the first hour and then I'll go to sleep and watch the rest in the morning. But yeah, I watched Bloodsport this morning as I was working the Wrestle Talk shift, and yeah, it was a good show. I was almost scared because I unwisely looked at the social media first, and the only person I saw talking about Bloodsport was Righteous Reg, who is 100% an indie fan, and he was not feeling. So I was like, oh man, is this gonna be bad? And then I watched it, I was like, no, this is actually good. I will say he was right about all the WWE matches after Carbon Petrovic were all booked the same. They were all booked the same. It was filling out process. They get beat a little bit. They make their comeback. They win. It was, and they did that, and they did all the WWE matches in succession, so it did become noticeable after like the second or third time they did it. So That was a little bit telling, but it was much better. I thought it was an overall a really good blood sport show. I agree with you. The Natty Neidhart presentation, the entrance, her coming out with the crew, the low-key legend vet. Oh man, I was like, she looks like a star. Why aren't you? I'm happy for her to go out there and try to wrestle everywhere, but it's like, why can't WWE like use her well? Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand why you can't use her well in your company if she's presented like this. I think that she would do much better than what she's doing in WWE. And I thought the match with Miyu Yamashita was very well done. I thought that was a good matchup. I thought Charlie Dempsey and Ego was awesome. It was awesome grappling like pure blood sport.
Oh, you said
Amateur.
Sorry, it took me a second
Aoki?
to realize.
Aoki?
Shinya
Aoki.
Aoki. Yeah, Shinya Aoki. Yeah, he's very. So I'm a huge Aoki fan. I used to stay up until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning to watch him compete on Japanese MMA shows. So like when he was announced for this show, I'm like, oh, that kind of rolls. It's kind of lame that he lost, honestly. Like I think he should have tapped out Dempsey. But Aoki's the knock on him has always been like his striking sucks. He doesn't have much of a chin. So like it made sense that like a suplex, basically, the Regalplex basically ended the match. I do think that like Aoki probably should have tapped him out though. Like it would have been cool to see.
I agree. I expected that with the resume that they showed for him before the matchup. I was like, yeah, he should probably win. And then I was surprised when Dempsey won.
Yeah, he's a legit MMA fighter and like a legit MMA champion. Like this is not a guy who just does pro wrestling and maybe had a background in some MMA training. Like I know Tavian Heights was a wrestler and Carmen Petrovic has a background in like striking and everything, but like Shinya Aoki's been in there with like some guys. Like if you know the history of Shinya Aoki, you know that like he's been in there with guys like Hellboy Hansen. And he's fought like some of the top people in Dream. Like this was years ago. I don't know how active he is nowadays. But like he's been in there with some dudes. So yeah, he probably should have just won this match.
I agree with that, but it was an awesome matchup. I thought that was probably my second favorite of the night. I thought the match of the night was definitely ZSJ and Jonathan Gresham because they like it wasn't the prototypical blood sport matchup where blood sport matchup you have your grappling, you have your submission base, you got your striking base matches. This was more of we're having a wrestling match in a blood sport ring. And the story is, I'm going to keep kicking you out of the ring because I don't respect you. I respect your grappling. I respect your submission work. I'm the better technical wrestler. And then it became, all right, we're done with that. We're going to strike. We're going to strike each other because we ran out of time because we had a freaking leg lock where both guys went to the floor with no knee pads. I was like, oh my God, that was the most brutal spot of the whole show. The most brutal. There was no blood on blood sport, but the most brutal spot to me was them rolling onto the floor from the ring to the floor with no mats, with no knee pads. I was like, these poor guys' knees are gonna be ruined. They're gonna be wrecked. And then the overtime was awesome. Just Gresham chopping the crap out of ZSJ. You could see his chest was turning colors. That it was almost at one point it was almost the same color as his tights. And then he's kicking the crap out of Gresham back. And then the finish was awesome. That was the best finish of the whole entire show. The best finish that I saw on any show that I watched in the last 12 hours or so, with him just giving the PK to get the win at the end. That was great stuff. Those two guys I thought stole the show for Bloodsport. I think that was the longest match as well. So it really got me hyped watching that matchup. I thought that was the match of the night. And like Joel said, I thought Gabe Kidd and Josh Barnett was very well done as well. And I did also like the Karrion Kross, Killer Kross. Love the fact that MLJ, the homie MLJ, announced him as Killer Kross. I love the story of the matchup being that he was wearing his gi and it was kind of slowing him down and it was distracting him at points and he had to take it off to finally get the win. So yeah, those a lot of fun matches. Like if you haven't watched Bloodsport, it's always one of the best WrestleMania week events. It's always up there. I think Bloodsport, Joey Janela's Spring Break, and WrestleCon Super Show are like the three shows that I always tell people, like, if you're gonna watch WrestleMania week, if you don't have time to watch everything, those are the three shows you should always watch, because they're always consistent. They're always going to give you great matches, or sometimes, like we'll get into later, one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
No, we can get into
Well, we're going to get into it now? Oh, my God.
The greatest match of all time.
One of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
Are we talking about the same match?
Yes, we are, because you love awful wrestling, and I am honest about awful wrestling. We are talking about the WrestleCon Super Show.
The greatest match ever took place.
WrestleCon Super Show gave us one of the worst matches of all time, and we should have known when it was.
This is disrespectful
announced
to Mickey James and Maki Ito. I don't feel like that was that bad of a match. Like, I know Mickey James just decided to stop in the middle of it and
to start singing, and I called it. I literally was talking about it with my boy. Shout out to Kelvin. You met Kelvin when we were in
Kelvin's awesome.
Yeah, we were watching it kind of together from our separate homes, and I'm like, dude, as soon as the bell rang, I'm like, dude, they're probably gonna do a sing-along. And he was like, you called it. I was like, yes, I knew they were gonna do a sing-along. And Mickey botched their lyrics. Oh man, and there was some ring rust on Mickey, but Mickey and Maki Ito, that was fine for what it was, but oh my god, what came next was one of the biggest clusterfucks, one of the worst matches of all time, and the front runner. It's like 4 or 5 laps ahead of every other matchup. If you thought you saw the worst match of the year before yesterday, no, you not gotta watch the WrestleCon Super Show to see Minoru Suzuki versus Butterbean with Dan Severn as the special guest referee. This was like Jimmy McAree came up with a great saying, and I get him a lot more as a wrestling fan. He says that if it's not exceptional, it needs to be exceptionally awful. Yeah. He loves his wrestling to be, stellar, all-time great, or he wants it to be all-time worse, all-time horrible, all-time bad. And Butterbean versus Suzuki, that is up there for me. We talked about being fans of Bryan Alvarez. I was a fan of Bryan Alvarez too, and that's why I put out the tweet. That was -5 stars.
How dare
Jenna Baraka, Charmel, that is -5 stars. Oh my god.
How dare you? I've said this for years, SP3. I've said it for years. There's a million great matches. There's a million 3, 4, 4.5 star matches. Either be the absolute best or be the absolute worst. That's the stuff that I want. Xavier Woods has the same line of thinking. I've heard him talk about it as well. And this was the absolute greatest match of all time. Butterbean, bless this dude. Butterbean was never... He wasn't moving well in his prime. He's just a big dude who was going to knock you out. Like, he had a little bit of athleticism. He could bob and weave a little. He could throw a mean hook. But he looked like he could barely walk here. And I know he's had a lot of health issues. And I credit the man for getting himself back into shape to where he can live a good lifestyle and doesn't have to be pushed around in a wheelchair, like which was the case a few years ago. Like, all credit to him. They shouldn't have put this man out there for this match. He wasn't moving well, and Suzuki wasn't going to do much with him. And then they were trying to do some grappling stuff. I'm like, this is Suzuki, but just throw some chops, throw some punches, do like a fake knockout spot or whatever.
Those
I know it wasn't good either.
The worst worked punches I've ever seen. He's like tapping them. He's like,
yeah. He again, bless Butterbean. It's tremendous what he's overcome with his health issues. Man, they put him in a bad spot to do stuff here, and then they had no finish, which made it even better. Like that's the cherry on top of how awful greatly awful this was. It's like if they would have done like, oh, Butterbean lands like an overhand right and knocks out Minoru Suzuki, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like you did a WrestleMania 15 callback with Butterbean knocking out Bart Gunn. Like, all right, that's pretty cool. Like you did something, but like, nah, we're just gonna do a double count out bullshit finish on top of this terrible match. It's like, oh, they just hit you with everything on this. Bless. This ruled so much.
They hit the bingo of worst matches. They did a bingo card of worst matches. You want horrible punches? You got it. You want sloppy looking grappling? You got it. You want two guys just laying on the floor doing a rest hold basically in a matchup that has timed rounds. You want the rounds to not be timed well.
Yeah, they screwed up that too. That ruled.
They're starting the clock before these guys even touch. You want a referee that seems like he doesn't realize what's going on. It was like, oh my God. This was otherworldly. This is like the Earth 2 version of Osprey and Takeshita, except they're old and of bad health. And
I will watch this match a million more times than I will watch Osprey and Takeshita.
I will watch Osprey and Takeshita and watch this back to back, and just to realize how great that match was.
I will watch this match. I'm gonna watch it again today. It's so hilariously awful. This is exactly the kind of wrestling. When this match was announced, I was like, all right, that's fun. Like, that's something different. We'll see what they come up with that. And then when it happened, I rushed to the computer to see this thing. I was like, oh, I got to see this. Because I had stuff to do. Like, the show started at 6, and I was running some errands at 6 and, like, doing some stuff. But I was like, oh, I got to get back in time to watch this match. And when it was on, I was like, oh, here we go. Let's go. Absolutely ruled. I loved it. Loved everything about this match. Everyone go out of your way to watch this match.
Please go out of your way to watch this match, because we need to be consistent on our worst match of the year voting. We need to be consistent.
In that it rule. If you vote this worst match of the year,
this is the worst match of the year. It might be the worst match of the decade. It might be the worst match of the century. It is otherworldly bad. It might be -7 stars. I don't give 7-star matches, but it might be -7 stars. This is one of the worst matches of all time.
How dare you? How dare you? This is one of the greatest match of all time.
No, you have to. You have to go out of your way to watch this match.
Yeah, you gotta watch it
to realize how bad wrestling can be. Like you may watch something on WWE or AEW and you're like, oh man, that was the worst match I've seen. And then you watch this match and you'll be like, you know what? That was actually pretty good.
This match is gonna rule. It ruled. Absolutely ruled.
It's gonna shape how you watch the rest of this year as far as in-ring performances. It's gonna change the way you look at in-ring performances in wrestling. What you thought was bad before, it's not as bad as what you would see in this match.
No one was expecting this to be good.
No
one looked at it. No one thought a Butterbean match in 2025 was going to be good.
It was a spectacle, but I thought it would be like 2 minutes. They just go out there, chop and punch for a bit.
Yeah, that would have been lame. Them trying to do like a wrestling match made it so much better. Like, yeah, they could have just gone out there and done like, let's just throw chops and punches, knockout finish, go home. Like that would have been fine. Everyone would be like, oh, that was cool. Nah, them actually like going out there and trying to do a wrestling match. It's like the famous Kane and Big Show match that I know we've broken down on the show, and they're trying to do like technical wrestling. And they could go out there and just do their little power man match and like, it'd been like, all right, sure, it's Kane and Big Show doing their usual spots. Now go out there and like try to do something different. Try to have a technical wrestling match. Try to have an 8-minute wrestling match. See how bad it can be. Just to pop me. I don't care about anybody else.
Oh my God, this was I don't know if Dan Severn wanted to be out there. I don't know if Dan Severn it was out there. I don't know.
Dan Severn
Like, I don't
showed up, got his check, and was like, "All right, they're on the outside. I'll just start counting now." And he was calling it like a shoot, brother. They were out there. He was gonna count.
It's like I'm counting them out, even though it's just time rounds, and I was like, what are we doing time rounds for? Or do y'all even know what y'all doing? And I think it only went like 2-3 rounds.
Absolutely ruled. I love it. Greatest thing ever.
It might have. I was about to sound like you. It might have been like maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, but it felt like every bit of like 15, 20. Just kept going. They just kept brawling after the matchup, horribly brawling, where Butterbean was just tapping him like.
It's so weak. Oh man, that's why it was so good. That's why it's so good. But yeah, it did look very weak. I mean, I can't really defend it as an actual like match, but I can 100% defend it. Like, if you want to see like just how goofy all of this can look and just have a laugh, here you go. I don't know what the goal was, Ken. Like, I think the goal legitimately was like, oh, we're gonna show that Butterbean can like move and everything, and I think they failed, honestly.
He can't.
I think they failed.
He couldn't. Like, I don't like. I will give it credit, because sometimes when something is this bad, it takes the conversation. It takes all the conversation away. Because
you're gonna remember this match.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, I would just sort of been like, it was a pretty good show. It was a pretty good WrestleCon. It wasn't the best WrestleCon Super Show I've seen. I did like the opening lucha. What was it, like 8-man, 10-man tag? That was fun. That suplex spot was awesome. I had never seen that before. I've seen everybody do the test of strength, and then eventually you do like the 4-way, 5-way suplex at the same time. But I had never seen two guys jump on top of the pile and then do a twisting suplex on top of the pile. That was a great spot. I thought Masquerada Dorada versus Ninja Mac was a lot of fun as well. I thought the main event with TMDK versus the international super team of Flip Gordon, Michael Oku, and Hechicero, that was a good main event matchup. That was good on the show. Like, we've already talked about Mickey and Maki Ito, so I won't say anything. Maki's a good singer. That's what I can say. Maki's a good singer. That's all I can say good about it. And the scramble match, it had Danhausen, who looked like me after I had a baby too. I understand, brother. It gets like that. It gets like me. That's another conversation me and Kelvin had. I was like, it looked like Danhausen put on some weight. And then Kelvin was the one who'd been like, he just got married. He just had a baby. You know how it is. I was like, yeah, that's true. I didn't pack on the pasta. I was like, I used to have abs. I don't have abs anymore. Packed on the pasta.
He ain't been used on TV. He's like, I ain't got to be TV ready or anything. Let me chill. People are here for the face paint anyway. It's fine. All good. Yeah. D'Lo Diggs since Super Chat said minute 1 and they botched the clock. Holy crap. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it, D'Lo? Like,
I love that D'Lo is watching this live.
He's gonna super chat all of his comments. Yeah. Bless. It's so
bless
good.
You, D'Lo. Bless you, D'Lo. That's awesome. Good. It's so bad. It's so bad. I will say, I think I've seen one of my matches of the year this week, and the worst match of the year. It's already done. It's like when New Japan used to have Wrestle Kingdom that had like 4 or 5 great matches, and the match of the year on one show, and you're just like, oh, match of the year is already wrapped up. It's January 4th. Match of the year is already wrapped up. It was April 17th, and the worst match of the year is already wrapped up. I don't think anything can be as bad as that. I just don't. It's the
greatest match ever. Amber sends this super chat, says, on a plane now, headed to Vegas, looking forward to WrestleMania and enjoying town. Hope to run into you, Joel. I'll send Joel a message. And thanks, Jeremy and SP3. Have fun. Yeah, shoot Joel a message. Let him know you're in town. I'm sure he'd love to meet up and punch him in the face, please. If you do see Joel. Always punch Joel in the face. If you're in the chat and you're in Las Vegas and you see Joel, please punch him in the face. If you see Alex McCarthy, punch him in the face too.
Don't listen to him. Alex McCarthy is a great man, and so is Joel. They're great fathers and great men.
Disagree on I mean, I won't call them bad fathers. That would be very mean of me, but I still don't like them. So punch him in the face if you see him. Tim Ruza sends us a bunch of super chats, and we got to get into it. Henry says, weirdest Mania week I've seen in a while. Strange. This has been a nightmare PR run for WWE, fed in the mud, and Cena doing the real heel work on TV. F him. So Cena came out this morning, did an interview with New York Times, and he once again, these are not like new comments from John Cena. They're new in that like he said them today, but this is the same stuff he said when the allegations first came out. So his stance just basically has not changed, is what it comes down to. And his stance is, I still love Vince McMahon, and when you love somebody, I love them wholeheartedly. That's that. So like he knows, he's like, people are going to be mad, but like I value my relationship and I love them. All right. I disagree with him. I think you could not love somebody if they do some horrific shit like what Vince is accused of. Okay. This is the same answer John Cena was giving a year ago. This is the same answer he's probably going to continue to give unless this does go to court and Vince is found guilty of everything. Then maybe he will love the man less. But until then, John's probably going to continue to say this stuff. And if you look at John Cena differently because of that, I don't blame you. Honestly, I think John Cena is fantastic. I've always been a John Cena fan. I can't agree with these comments that he has made. I can't. So that's where I'm at on it. I don't know if you have anything SP3.
I'm not surprised. Like you said, we've heard John Cena say this before in other interviews. But when you have time, when you've had more information that's come out and everything, you can say that you love them, but you separate that from the bad things that they do. If you acknowledge that they have done some bad things, or if you can acknowledge that you don't like the things that have been mentioned, the allegations about them, if you acknowledge them and then say you still love them, that's fine. But just this kind of like defiance of, I don't care, I know people are going to get mad when they hear this, but I still love Vince McMahon. It's just defiant. And like the best, like all the adjectives to describe WWE's PR week has been defiance, insecurity, tone deaf. It's just been like, it has been an all-time nightmare run for WWE PR. But at the end of the day, it's not going to affect anything, I feel. It's not going to, if you still love WWE, if you're going to stand up for WWE, you're still going to do it, regardless of what they say in the PR, regardless of the stuff that they're putting there, just put their foot in their ass and their mouth every time they have an interview. It seems like you're still going to love it. They're still going to make boatloads of money. And I don't think that it's going to affect anything, sadly. I wish that it would. I wish that there would be some consequences for this type of nightmare PR run that they've been on. And I feel like every day we should have been talking about this week. We should have been talking about the great shows that we saw, like NXT had a great go-home show on Tuesday. We talked about AEW Dynamite having one of the best Dynamite episodes ever. Last night's Collision was a solid follow-up to Dynamite, even though Jimmy Macaron will probably think differently because he did message me at like 4:00 his time. He was like, I'm halfway through this nothing show. So not everybody's going to think that. So stay tuned to True Hill Heat. But they had a solid follow-up, in my opinion, to the Dynamite Spring Breakthrough, and Bloodsport was really good. WrestleCon Super Show was just wacky outrageousness, and we just talked about that for like 20 minutes. But we have to spend time on Nick Khan saying the stuff that he's saying and taking shots at AEW and ripping into the internet, and Triple H
with that stuff.
Triple H doubling down on that. But it's just getting levels like worse. Like that's fine right now, but like then Triple H's whole thing of being basically insecure and above criticism. That's funny, and it's bad. It's bad. We're going down the ladder. We're not going up. We're not going up the ladder. We're going down the ladder. And then John Cena is just defiant and tone deaf all at the same time with the whole Vince McMahon thing. Then you have Roman on the other side of the spectrum. You got Roman Reigns saying he's a centralist Democrat and he supports the president. He supports Donald Trump, even though he doesn't like that he has to have all these competitors and stuff like that. It's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
This is the sad part about this. There's a lot of sad stuff, but another sad aspect to it. We think it's a nightmare PR run because we have the views that we have. Sadly, feel like the majority feels this is a great PR run because of where we are at in the world. They are probably looking at this and being like, yeah, Roman, that's right. Support the president. Support the country. Yeah, John, that's right. Support the guy who built WWE. None of this would exist without that guy. These are just allegations. These aren't truths. So as much as we think it's a nightmare PR run, and I certainly do, we're probably in the minority in thinking this is all bad PR for WWE. And the truth is, they probably think a lot of this is great PR. And there are a lot of people out there, the majority of people probably think this is a great PR run for the company. I don't know if it makes them new fans. I don't know if it loses them a bunch of fans. No idea when it comes to that. But as much as we're talking about it and looking at it of this isn't good, there's just as many people out there who are like, no, this is great. I respect what Roman is saying. I respect what John is saying. I respect what Triple H is saying. And that's just sadly where we are in the world with stuff. I mean, Kate's saying like my PR professor used this as a textbook example of a bad strategy in her class today. And look, I believe that to be true, that it may be used as an example. I think the better way is to not mention this stuff at all. Just focus on, the actual wrestling show that you are about to put on instead of political views and things like that. But once again, we're in a world where all of this seeps in and all of there is no just shut up and dribble type of stuff. It is, it's all crossed together, all of it nowadays. And yeah, I can't say nobody's talking about WrestleMania. Yeah, that should be the focus. It should be.
It is crazy that no one's really talking about WrestleMania. And out of all these interviews that they're doing, the main thing is like some people are paying attention, some people are not. Like I feel like CM Punk is like the lowest on the totem pole as far as like saying anything like offensive or anything, but he's tone deaf because he's saying that, oh, WWE isn't about politics, but my politics, like I'm one of the good ones, but we don't talk about politics here. Yes, y'all do. Y'all have made y'all politics. WWE has made their politics very clear, more than you, Punk. Just saying. I saw that quote too, and I was like,
yeah. I mean, I listened to the Punk interview. I transcribed the quote. It was, he condemned Elon Musk, but didn't really he didn't mention Trump at all. He just said glazing the president is bad. And that was basically that. And I think Punk has made his stances on things clear. And I can probably see where Punk lies with things. But when you have other people outright saying, I support this person, and then Punk is not outright condemning this person, it is different. It is different on this. Like, sadly, that has been a conversation of things this week, and it hasn't been about WrestleMania, and it hasn't been about the lopsided booking or uneven booking, because we can't criticize that either. We just got to be a fan and enjoy the ride.
No, don't be a critic. Don't be a critic. Just be a fan. Yeah. If I give you shit to eat, if I spit in your face, Triple H spits out his water and spits it in your mouth, you say that, oh my God, it's like holy water is coming into my saliva. It's just awesome. This is great. he can crap in your mouth, and you just be a fan and enjoy it.
Just gotta be a fan. All right, a lot of super chats here. Tenrus is saying Hangman Page was right in so many ways, and also saying it's AEW and New Japan going forward for me. WWE can ride. Wait, you watched WWE in the first place, Tenrus?
I would have never known that, Tenrus.
I appreciate all the super chats that you send, Tenrus.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Yes, we do. But based on every comment I've seen from you, I would have not guessed that you've watched WWE at all anyway.
Yo, shout out to those who jump on like any like streams and comment, even though they're not into WWE right now, and it's for good reasons. Like we had a couple of comments yesterday on True Heat. It's like I don't support the Fed, but I'm here to support you, and I appreciate anyone who's like that because it is a tough time to even for me as someone who gets to talk about it on these YouTube channels. It's a tough time to even talk about it. Like I'm not necessarily a full-on fan anymore. There are promotions that I will say I'm a full-on fan of. I'm a fan of New Japan. So you've heard my concern earlier this week with Tetsuya Naito leaving. I even will go to extent that I have been a fan of WWE in the past. WWE is such an important part of my fandom. But man, if I wasn't doing these YouTubes, if I wasn't writing gigs, for different outlets, I don't know if I would be comfortable even talking about it or saying that I'm a fan of WWE right now.
I would much rather talk about the on-screen product. I'd much rather talk about. I got no problem talking about Nick Khan taking shots at AEW and Triple H with the pivot and bad booking. Like that stuff's funny to me. At least we're still talking wrestling, right? I did the CM Punk interview this morning. I listened to it. I transcribed a good chunk of it. I did the Roman comments. I did Triple H comments. I would rather not. I was complaining to my wife this morning. I was like, I've written too many political articles this week. I'm like, it's WrestleMania week. I would like to talk about wrestling. I would like to enjoy the wrestling. I don't want to write about politics and Trump getting an Ulafala and all of this stuff. I don't. Even if it was the other way, I still wouldn't want to write about that stuff, honestly, because I like wrestling as the escapism of things. I don't want to. The world sucks right now. We have people trying to ruin a lot of things for a lot of people right now. I don't want to have to write about that. I don't want to have to focus on that. Sadly, when these wrestlers comment on that kind of stuff, it becomes news. And sadly, I got to cover a lot of this news. So it becomes stuff that I'm very privy to and very aware of. I would much rather listen to The Undertaker talk about hookers fighting in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that would be great right about now. But the fact that I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. I'm here for my family in the UK. But one of the other reasons that I'm in the UK is because I didn't want to hear about Trump anymore. I didn't care. I wasn't in the United States when the election happened. So I'm not responsible for this. I would have voted, and I would have voted for someone else. I don't know if I would have voted for Kamala. I don't know who I would have voted for. I just wouldn't have voted for Trump. So I didn't feel responsible for this, but I had to go back to America where they made him the president again, and I had to hear about him ad nauseum. And I left, and I was like, oh, man, I'm in the UK. I'll just focus on wrestling and my sports and watch my different TV shows. But no, wrestling, especially this week, have talked about politics and talked about Trump so much that now he is just prevalent in my mind. I know I've seen the picture of him getting the Ulafala. He's the tribal chief of America now. Oh my goodness, what are we doing? Please, dear God, will y'all stop? We understand where y'all stand. Y'all don't need to just make it. Y'all don't have to be this just upfront with it. Why? I thought this wasn't about politics. I thought this is not what y'all do. Y'all entertain people. Y'all put smiles on fans' faces. This don't put a smile on nobody's face. Maybe some people, Some people enjoy
Again,
it.
I think
Right.
I think this is the message. This is the branding. It's the same. The UFC is doing the same stuff. This is the who both of these companies are. It just is. And I completely understand if you don't want to support WWE and the company or certain wrestlers, whatever it might be. I completely understand it. I don't know if I would, if I wasn't, if this wasn't my job and a livelihood for me. I don't know if I'd be watching with the same interest and the same intent if I wasn't paid to cover all of this stuff, because I completely understand that this message does not align or may not align with your views. And I respect that if you don't want to watch it. Completely understand that. A few more super chats. Tenruza again. WWE coming UFC now. TKO, MAGA, F them bastards. Again, that's weird hiccup on my part there. But that's who they are. I listened to Dana White on Stephanie McMahon's podcast yesterday, and I got a great headline out of it, mind you, that popped a lot of people. I cooked with that headline. I will say that much.
Nice.
I was a little hesitant on it. I was like, oh, am I going to get in trouble with this one? Like, is Sean going to be mad at me with this one? Because I don't know our standing with UFC. Like, we don't really cover MMA all that much, but we cover, like, main kind of stuff and whatnot. I was like, I don't know. Like, whatever. I was like, Stephanie McMahon has a no douchebags rule in premiere episode with Dana White. And I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing with this one. I told my wife beforehand, I was like, I had a really good headline with it because the podcast is not interesting. Sorry to Stephanie.
I mean, I could have told you that because I watched the first episode of Stephanie's Place and never again. I would never watch that show ever again. I watched that first episode and I was like, this is supposed to be an interview with CM Punk. He's only in the last 10 minutes of a 25-minute episode. Yeah. And he may have been asked 2 questions. They completely ignore that he came back to wrestling 2 years before he actually came to WWE. He was just gone for 10 years, and then he's back. Oh man, this is great! This is a homecoming. And then the first 15 minutes is her doing more of an interview with Triple H. It's her being back at WWE HQ, and then everything I've seen from the other episodes, I've seen clips from other episodes. I was like, I'm not wasting my time. This is not worth my time. You know me for this show, especially since I've been on this show. I try to consume as much wrestling as possible, and I was gonna add Stephanie's Place to the C-suite, our C-level reviews that we do on Thursdays, but no, I couldn't. First episode, I was like, nah, I'm gonna tap out.
The thing with those is I don't think they are meant for people like us. They are meant for casual people on ESPN Plus who just want something to watch. Same with like Netflix documentaries of like, oh, let me see what this is all about with Cody Rhodes. Because I watched the first episode with Punk and I was like, okay, I didn't learn anything, but maybe somebody did. And same thing with the episode with Cody. I was like, all right, like it is meant for just your casual viewer when it comes to that stuff. So like I can understand that. I know the Austin episode, like they're riding the dirt buggies or whatever they're called, and like it seems fun. It seems fine. Again, that's meant to appeal to a casual viewer. I'm okay with that kind of stuff. Doesn't interest me. It doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I understand it. This podcast, though, with Dana White, like my expectations were not high. I'm not saying I went into this thing with like, I'm going to learn a lot about Dana White. I don't think Dana White is a very good person. Dana White has blocked me on Twitter years ago because I called him a liar. I don't even remember what it was. I'm sure it was honestly something over MMA of like, he said he was going to book this fight and he did it. Dana White lied. But like, I've never really agreed with what Dana White has done and the way he runs things. Clearly it's worked for UFC because they are in the position they are in and they don't think they can do any of this without Dana White, despite the fact that there's video evidence of him slapping his wife. So but he's still in this position that he's in. Again, I did not watch this podcast to think I'm going to learn something great about Dana White here. And I didn't learn anything about Dana White. I learned what I already knew about Dana White and his views on things. But I got a good headline out of it, if nothing else. I would not advise anybody to watch this podcast, by the way. I just wouldn't. I don't know what the future of the podcast holds. I don't think Stephanie is a terrible interviewer, honestly. Like, I thought she did a relatively good job for someone who, I don't know how comfortable she is doing this. I don't even know if she like wants to do this kind of stuff, but clearly she's like doing it. I do think like she commands a certain amount of respect from people because of who she is and her history and everything. And that carries some weight when it comes to interviews and making people comfortable. So I don't think she is bad at this or anything. I just don't think Dana White is a very great first guest because I don't really care what he has to say. But I listen to a lot of podcasts and interviews with people that I don't actually care what they have to say, but they might say something interesting and it might be news. And it is my job to find that stuff and put it out there to other people who might find it interesting and might find it relevant.
I would hope. I hope somebody does. I don't, but I hope somebody does.
Again, if nothing else, I got a really good headline out of it. They did good numbers on social media. And I'm sure there are people who watch that podcast and are like, this was the greatest interview ever. Dana White's so good. UFC, all this stuff. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there. UFC does very good business. Clearly, people like Dana White. Clearly, people like their message. I don't. It's why I don't watch UFC anymore. Like, outside of select fights and select fighters, I got no interest in watching UFC. I can't tell you who the champions are in any of these divisions at this point. I think John Jones is the heavyweight champion. I don't think he's fighting Tom Aspinall anytime soon. And that's about it. I don't know most of this stuff. Like, I used to, before I started covering wrestling full time, I covered MMA full time. Like, I loved MMA. And now it's just like, again, much like it would be with wrestling if I wasn't covering it to this level. I don't know how much I'd be paying attention to this stuff because I don't agree with a lot of the messages. A few more super chats here. Chi-Town Spurs says, remember when Punk used to wear pro-choice shirts in Texas and carried support LGBTQ+, signed to the ring after the show? Gee, wonder where that guy went. I mean, he's made his feelings clear in various messages, but he's also not said as much as other people have said. Tenruza saying, I keep up through you guys. I don't watch. I won't be listening to podcasts about it anymore. Don't care about that cesspool. Love you guys, though. Appreciate you again, Tenruza.
Love you, Tenruza. You're awesome.
Completely understand if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to keep up with all of that. Completely get it. Mandela saying, I'm super conservative, and this is all cringe. Tom talks rubbish. Appreciate you, Tom. Thanks for being awesome, people. For your hard work. Please take care. You were needed in this space. Appreciate you, Tom. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Again, reach out to me. I apologize again that I missed the interview the other week. I know you've been trying to reach out to me after Mania week, maybe even 2 weeks after Mania week, because I'm gonna need time to recover because I'm pretty sure I have the flu. But you know what can you do? Minoru says WWE needs to bring it in the ring after Wednesday. Well, we'll see about that. Jules saying, this is why I love the show. Great conversation. Telling us how you really feel. Thank you, Jeremy SP3. Sending you lots of love. Feel better soon, Jeremy. I'm trying. My lovely wife brought me some tea. She has been amazing in supporting me. Oh, she's the absolute best.
She had me and my missus laughing at her reactions to Harlem's running.
Oh yeah. She just comes in the room yesterday. Like, I'm working, and all I hear is like she's on her phone, and all I hear is "Shut up, Dada." I was like, "You're just like watching that clip," and she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "It's so funny." I was like, "Fair, honestly."
I love she even when you posted it as a short. Harlem doesn't like watching herself or hearing herself on anything. She doesn't even let us do videos of her. But she popped because she could see the words on the screen. She's like, "Shut up, Dad."
Yeah.
She's like, "I can read that. That says Dad. DADA."
I was like, oh, that's such an easy short. I've been trying to make my workload easier with shorts. I was like, that one's a simple one to do. Workload this week. Like other times, I'll like try to craft like some really good shorts. It's got over 1,000 views. What the hell? Jesus.
Let's go. The true draw now. Sorry, Josh.
I mean, I
take it away.
I titled it "Kid Hates WWE LFG," so I feel like the title may have influenced it a little bit. But what a jeez, yeah, it's got bigger. It's got more views than Joe Hendry and Mariah May. Harlem's the star. Why isn't WWE knocking down her door? Well, she hates WWE, but AEW should be knocking down her door. Like, hold up.
We need to see Harlem. Harlem is all elite. Come on.
Yeah. Amazing. Shout out to that. That was one of the best moments in the show's history yesterday. It was so good. So good. All right. So WrestleMania is allegedly this weekend. 2 nights. You wouldn't know it.
Oh no, we have one. We have don't we have more shows to talk from yesterday?
I mean, if you want to,
did you watch anything from TNA?
Yeah, I watched Unbreakable. I didn't watch the Thursday show. I
didn't watch the Thursday show. I watched the final 2 matches. I watched the final 2 matches of Unbreakable.
I watched all of Unbreakable. I watched Collision. I watched everything for the most part.
I could squeeze in. Because the Bloodsport show was so long. It was like my final 2 hours of my last hour and a half of my work shift is when it eventually finished with Bloodsport altogether. And because I did start my day watching Progress, shout outs to the people in Progress. Y'all know y'all right demographic. So y'all started at 8 a.m. my time. So I was able to wake up like 45 minutes, 50 minutes into the show. And the first thing I saw was my good friend Vert Vixen. I've interviewed her like 2-3 times. She's been on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. So I had to tweet that out in Progress. And the collective shared that, retweeted that tweet. So I watched the Progress show first. Luke Jacobs versus Michael Oku. That was a great match. That's up there so far for me out of the non-WWE WrestleMania week shows. That's one of the better matches that I saw. Luke Jacobs and Michael Oku. If anyone knows them or have been following them in the UK, they have a long-standing rivalry since both guys were in the cruiserweight division of Rev Pro. They've moved up from the cruiserweight division to the heavyweight division, and they've swapped the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. This is their first time competing over the Progress Men's World Champion. That was a great matchup. I thought Nina Samuels versus Rio versus Vert Vixen was a lot of fun. I'm really digging the Rio versus Vert Vixen rivalry. Paul Walter Hauser, new Proteus champion. I was like, Stingray, let's go. I called it in my preview. I was like, Stingray for the win. Let's go. I'm here for it. Stingray is the new champion over in Progress. I watched Minoru Suzuki versus Cara Noir. I had to watch that to be like, okay, Suzuki, this is your chance to have a good matchup now. And he had a good match. So I'm happy for Suzuki, because I had people when I put up that tweet about the Butterbean matchup, someone asked me, he was like, is Suzuki cooked? Is he washed? I was like, I can't judge him on this match. I can't judge him on, I can't say that. I can't tell that by this matchup. But the Cara Noir matchup was great. Had one spot where Cara Noir had him in a rear naked choke, and he basically flips him down and he lands right on the top of his dome piece, and then he goes right to the finish. That was a great finish to that matchup. That was a lot of fun. But like I said, go out of your way to watch the Michael Oku, Luke Jacobs matchup from that show. Michael Oku had quite a day, because like I said earlier, that the 6-man tag with Flip Gordon and Hechicero versus TMDK was a lot of fun on the WrestleCon Super Show. And also, after I was done with Bloodsport, I had a little bit of time before I took my break. I watched Jeremy Lambert's favorite wrestler, Evil, have a good matchup. because he was in there with Michael Oku, and he didn't have House of Torture. He did do a lot of low blows and raking of the eyes because he's evil. But it was a good matchup. It was probably the best matchup
I told you.
Eva has had without multiple interferences.
What did I say on this show yesterday? I said the match that was gonna steal the show at Progress was Evil and Michael Oku because Evil
That wasn't at Progress. That was at Defy.
Whatever. Said the show of the weekend. Evil was gonna steal the show, and that's what he did. That's what he always does. SP3. He's the best match on every single show. The only time he would have been topped yesterday was Butterbean and Minoru Suzuki.
Stop doing this to me. Stop doing this.
The
that
greatest
needs to be the
matches
short
ever.
from today's show is us talking about Butterbean.
We're gonna do a watch along of this match at some point.
I am here for it. I am here. This is so bad that I'm willing to watch it again. I'm willing to watch it again because I don't know if I absorbed how bad it was.
Lab Glass in Super Chat said, just watch Chris Bay walking on stage. Don't look at me for 5 minutes. That was a great moment with Chris Bay. Ace Austin brought him out at TNA Unbreakable, and the crowd chanting, "You are unbreakable." They had it like in a rhythmic song. Like that was really good. And Chris Bay delivered such a great speech. Like it was really cool to see that and to see Chris Bay continue to be around wrestling. So yeah, that was a great moment at TNA Unbreakable with Chris Bay showing up. The rest of Unbreakable, the barbed wire massacre match was
oh my god
insane.
I mean, match.
That's what that's what Mance and Sammy Callahan are gonna do. Like they went out there and they're like, okay, we know what we got to do this weekend. And look, Janela and Sabu probably watched that and was like, all right, well, that's what we're up against. Okay, we know we got to top this in a different kind of way. I don't think they're gonna do everything that the Mance and Sammy were doing, but they're gonna have to top it in a different kind of way. So yeah. And then Steve Macklin, he did not DM me the scoop so I could pre-write the story, but Steve Macklin did win the international championship. So good on him. We love Macklin. Macklin's been on the show a handful of times. He's a pal of the show, and it's always good to see him get some success. I hope they do more with this belt than they did with the digital media title, because if they're just going to treat it in the same vein and not really feature it, not really do stories, not really highlight the wrestler who holds it, it doesn't mean anything. But if they actually are going to treat it like a true, like strong mid-card title, then Macklin can do really good things with it.
Yeah, and it sets up Macklin versus Eric Young at Rebellion for the international championship, because the stipulation going into the triple threat final was the person who didn't take the pinfall would face the champion at Rebellion. So it sets up a kind of a friends battling out, even though Eric Young has turned heel, but that's been kind of the story with Steve Macklin and Eric Young over the last couple of weeks, with Eric Young wanting Steve Macklin to join the Northern Armory with Sinner and State, but he has his whole history with Northern Armory when Josh Alexander was heading up that group, so he doesn't want to join them, but now he's the international champion. I'm happy for Steve Macklin. I've always been a fan of his. I've gotten to talk to him as well in the past, so definitely a good dude. He deserves that honor of being the inaugural champion, but boy, oh boy, man, I wasn't expecting that. I expected it to be violent and bloody with the barbed wire massacre, but goddamn, that was a legit bloodbath. They had to freaking wrap up Mance's arm midway through the matchup because that cut he had was nasty. Oh, it was gross. And then he pulled out the freaking barbed wire bowling ball. He pulled out the barbed wire. He brought back the barbed wire Nintendo 64 controller. He had the barbed wire around and wrapped it around his freaking eyes at one point. It was gruesome. It was violent. I enjoyed that. That's another one of my favorite matches that I was able to watch yesterday, was that barbed wire massacre. And not yesterday, actually, like just before I came on here, maybe like an hour before I came on here, I watched that matchup. That was a lot of fun.
Tenruz is saying Mercedes versus Athena, incredible. AEW is on fire. I assumed you watched Collision last night as well.
Yes, I did. I had to do the post show with Cresta,
That's
who's
right. Yeah.
hilarious. Shout outs to Cresta. She's hilarious. I
Okay,
love
so
to do it.
what are you guys talking about a skirt streak match? What
a
what is this?
skirt steak match.
Skirt
Because
steak. Okay, sorry.
there's a big meaty man matchup, but there's a skirt steak matchup because AEW has a lot of hoss ladies in the spectrum now. So like I think we were talking about the Megan Bain and her slaughtering a whole bunch of people, and Cresta really wants to see Megan Bain versus Camille, and she was like she
Well,
thought
Camille
that
doesn't
Camille could do.
exist, so
I kind of said that. And it was funny because we mentioned Camille on the WrestleMania preview that we did on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel with Maggie. Shout out to Maggie as well. And we were talking about. I was like, Nick Aldis is going to be the person versus Randy Orton, and he comes out with Camille. That's where Camille's been. She's just been waiting for Nick Aldis to be her insurance policy again, because that's how she was introduced. But yeah, she wanted that, and then I was like, yeah, she can go, and she was like, yeah, throw in Chris Statlander, and then I was like, yeah, throw in Jamie Hayter, and we're just like throwing in all these women. It's like the skirt skate match. It's going to be all these meaty women going at it and just clobbering one another. And no, the best part was, I don't know, I don't know if I've ever asked if you're a Boondocks fan, but we said that the FTR letter is basically the wrestling version of Riley Freeman writing Santa Claus, which popped me. It's like, Santa, you a bitch nigga. Oh, scratch that out. No, Santa, you a bitch ass nigga. That was the level of condescending that FTR was in that letter. That was one of my favorite moments of last night's show.
that was very good. The letter that they read, and then Nigel's reaction, like, well, I gotta accept their apology. And Tony's like, what? He's like, I was being sarcastic, Tony.
Tony does not know sarcasm.
No, Tony's
he probably read that letter legit. Didn't hear any of the sarcasm.
I like Collision was good last night. It was a good follow up to Dynamite. I loved that, like, Moxley opened the show and the Death Riders opened the show, and they were pissed at what happened at the end. Yeah, like that's what it should be. It should not be, oh, let's wait and hear from them next week on Dynamite. Like, now we know they're at the Collision. It's the same venue. It's the next day. Like, we know that they are there. So if they're there, yeah, they should be super upset and they should want revenge on this. So I thought the Moxley promo and him challenging Joe was really good. Like, Nick Wayne winning the ROH TV title, we expected it, and we'll see what happens with it.
It was an awesome match. It felt like
it was a great match, but
it felt like the right title too to give to someone like Nick Wayne, the ROH TV title. You know, it made sense to me. I agree with you with the Death Riders kicking off, and that was really the show long narrative, because we then got Claudio coming out for the open challenge.
I don't know if he was throwing that chair at Nigel, but I was waiting for Nigel to swing on him after that.
I was like, yo, this man just came back. He just got back in the ring last year. Why are you trying to take him out? That's supposed to be your boy. They're supposed to be boys.
Like, I saw Nigel, like, get up. You know, it was really good. Very subtle stuff on Nigel. Nigel's so good. So good. Yeah. But, like, after Claudio lost and he's, like, flipping the table, you see Nigel in the background, and he grabs the ring bell. And he's holding on to the ring bell in case they start coming over there. He's got this hammer, and he's going to be ready to hit some people with it. But yeah, when Claudio throws that chair, and I was like, what? And he gets up, and he's like, you see him visibly, like, removed from the announce table. And I'm like, did that actually hit him? Like, what is happening? Yeah, like, if Nigel gets in there and starts swinging, I don't blame him at this point. But yeah, Claudio had a rough night. He had a rough night, but Nigel's so good. So good. He rules.
I I thought it was really good how they had Claudio lose, which was a good matchup with him and Adam Cole. And I mentioned that on the post show that it's crazy how long these guys have worked in the same company together, whether it be like WWE. I think they had some crossover in Ring of Honor as well. And this is the first time I remember them really having a high profile title match in the whole time that they've been in these same companies together. And they were, of course, one half of the Party with Xavier Woods and Tyler Breeze, where most people know them from. But I thought that was probably Adam Cole's best matchup since like the time limit draw with Daniel Garcia. I thought that was a really strong matchup on the show. I think it was right behind the Nick Wayne and Commander for the best match that I saw last night on that show. But the best part was the post match with Claudio freaking out, like you said, Nigel holding the bell, the bell ringer, the bell hammer, and then it's John Moxley who has to calm down Claudio Castagnoli. Like he's like, Claudio, calm down, and then he's yelling at Yuta for trying to calm him down at the same time. I was just like, yo, these guys are all over the place. This is the best reaction that the Death Riders had to anything. They really sold the fact that they are kind of like unhinged. They're crashing out because they lost something important to them on Dynamite. So like I said, I thought that this was a solid follow-up to Dynamite. I think that the reason why I said earlier where Jimmy Macarim was upset, he did explain later that he had watched the second hour of Dynamite and then went right into that Collision. So I was like, yeah, you can't go from all-timer Dynamite to just a solid edition of Collision. So I understand how he's going to feel. I know we're going to talk about it over on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, but I just wanted to put that out there as well. But yeah, it was a solid follow-up, not as all-timer as Dynamite, but it addressed the things that it needed to with the Death Riders, Moxley challenging Samoa Joe. I think we mentioned that yesterday that you were hoping that was what they were leading to, and I'm very happy that they are not setting up Anarchy in the Arena. Can we not have Anarchy in the Arena?
You're very happy until John Moxley defeats Samoa Joe, and then everybody's just gonna be pissed off. So
no. This is what they do. I've already said this. I tried to explain this to Cresta. Cresta said I made sense, but she was like, I don't like you right now because she loves Samoa Joe. But I was like, we all know that Moxley's gonna beat Samoa Joe because after Dynasty, they passed the point of no return. They gotta have Moxley be the champion going into All In. We know that he's going to beat Samoa Joe. This is the key. Guys. Just don't make it the main event. You got 2 Owen Hart finals. You got Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page probably in the men's final. You got Mercedes Moné versus either Chris Statlander or Jamie Hayter. Make one of those the main event easily. That's the simplest thing your dumbass can do, Tony Khan. Don't do the dumb thing and prove that you a dumbass and put Samoa Joe and John Moxley in the main event of Double or Nothing. Don't do that. Don't be that dumb. Please. I
hope it's the main event. It's funnier that way. Anything else from Collision you want to hit on?
Those are main points. I like the fact that we got Kevin Knight beating Jobber to the Stars, Lance Archer. So now we know that Tony Khan views Kevin Knight as a star because he beat the Jobber to the.
Yeah. Well, until Kevin Knight takes the pin against the Young Bucks on Wednesday. So.
Yeah, probably. Ricochet was hilarious, even though I don't like this discrimination to bald folks. This is not right what they do in the bald people. It's ridiculous how they're discriminated against Ricochet, but he is hilarious, and I love the Renee. Renee is awesome. Renee's an all-timer. If it wasn't for Mean Gene Okerlund, Renee Paquette would be the greatest backstage interviewer of all time. Her flipping her hair at the end was so hilarious to me.
Ricochet's got to get on the Scorpio system to get some hair. I need Scorpio Sky to come back with his hair care products to get Ricochet. He used to have hair. He used to have long ass hair. And
this is true.
Now why you bald?
This is true. I think the other kind of like big point of the show was my boys, the Don Callis family. We getting bigger. The family's getting bigger. Family's getting bigger.
Yep. Trent's back. Rocky Romero turned. Ishii, by the way, it pops me every single time they bring him out there and is like, Tomohiro Ishii, what a great New Japan star, is New Japan strong champion. This dude ain't never won in AEW.
He never wins. Like, and you gotta understand, I do a show with Jimmy Baccarat. He doesn't watch New Japan. He's never seen Ishii win in life.
You take out.
She's making it a bit now.
It is a bit. It is. She's not happy with this Ishii losing.
She's upset about LFG. She's upset about Ishii losing.
Was that a shut the fuck up? That's what it sounded like.
No.
Okay, I mean, are you sure?
I've said this before. She has said, I think I said it either on True Hill Heat or yesterday on the Fightful. She has said, Coco Melon fucking, because my missus was reading Coco Melon titles and she just let it slip. She was like, oh, fucking Coco Melon, and now Harlem has been saying that, but she did not say shut the fuck up, Dada. She knows shut up, Dada.
Chat, what do we think? What do we think there? Because I heard shut the fuck up. Henry's in agreement with me. I don't care even if it was shut up, Dada. I'm titling it on the short shut the fuck up. It's much funnier that way. Lab Glass is with me. Mike, feel like he's on the same page with me. You might lose this one, SP3.
Guys are trolling me.
I go back and listen to the audio for yourself. I'm sure in your Kate saying she heard it as well. I'm sure, like, to you, because you know what you would hear.
I have my headphone more on this ear than the other ear, so maybe you guys are right.
Go back and listen to the audio, SP3, because I know what I heard on that one, and the chat's in agreement with me.
She was like, I said shut up, Dad, yesterday, so I gotta switch it up. They can't expect it.
Drew is saying that's what it sounded like. It's like a 6-0 run right now. All right. Just back-to-back Steph Curry threes out here. And you're all of a sudden, this went from a 3-point game to a 9-point game. It's like, what the hell happened?
Damn. She won't stand for this Ishii slander. She won't.
Tell Tony Khan. Tony Khan's the one booking him to lose every single match on AEW.
Oh, man. No, but it was a good match. I like Josh Alexander. He feels like he's getting comfortable. He's getting comfortable in the AEW verse. Konosuke Takeshita and Ishii, anytime they go at it, I enjoy it. And it felt like the match started and they basically continued their matchup from Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th from the Tokyo Dome. They just came out, started clubbering one another. Then we got Ishii and Josh Alexander going at it. And this is such a good move for Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero is a born heel. He should always be a heel. He is much better as a heel. And everywhere else, he's basically been a heel. I didn't even know until I went to New Japan's website this morning that he attacked El Phantasmo after Windy City Riot. I didn't even know that happened. I was like, oh, I could have predicted this or seen this coming more if I would have known that beforehand. But I just found out. Rocky needed this. Trent needed this. Trent is better off in a tag team than he is on his own. We saw that in the rivalry that he had with Orange Cassidy. He's better suited in a tag team of some form, and Roppongi Vice being the tag team of the Don Callis family is great to go along with three of the best wrestlers in AEW under his charge. I've said it once. I'll say it a million times. Don Callis family, the best faction in AEW right now.
They've gotten a lot better, because when they first started, I called Don Callis the Doc Rivers of wrestling managers, because he didn't know when contracts were expired. He had guys in the wrong spot. He didn't know what he was doing. It wasn't good. But now that he's added Josh Alexander, now that he's leveled up Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. I was like, okay, all right, I see you. I see you, Don Callis. This is his Celtics run right now. We'll see. We'll see what happens after that when it comes to old Don Callis. But yeah, I thought it was good last night, outside of Ishii losing again. But what can you do? It was very funny though that they did that match and they tried to sell us. I was like, you just put on like ROH Ishii and Rocky Romero losing. Like they can't even win on like an ROH taping. Or so, I'm supposed to think like they're gonna win on a
Who did
collision.
they lose to on ROH?
Top Flight. That was the Top Flight.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, they ain't winning on Collision. They ain't even beating Top Flight on ROH. I'm really supposed to think they're gonna beat Alexander and Takeshita? No.
That's wild.
Very,
that is wild. That is strange.
just a very odd choice of like, hey, let's air these guys losing to Top Flight on ROH and then sell you on them wrestling on Collision. Like, I don't know who's winning this one, guys. The team that just lost on ROH of all places, or the team that just got put together. I mean, look, Alexander and Takeshita were always gonna win this. I don't like that wasn't a surprise, but at least give me a little hope. Don't literally 5 hours before the show air this team losing on ROH television.
And the crazy thing is, you could have easily had the Crew cost them the matchup just to give Ishii and Rocky a win before they have their match on Collision, and that would have furthered two things at once, where you're furthering the Top Flight and Crew feud on ROH television instead of giving Top Flight a win for what? For them to have the tornado tag with Crew next week?
Good episode of Collision, though. Good episode. Yeah, Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron. SP3 and I talked about that after their match at Grand Slam. It's like, I don't know how you do it, but you got to keep them together.
Since before that matchup, we were saying that. We were like, just pair them up. Whatever happens at Air Grand Slam, just pair them up afterwards, because every time they're on screen together, it is entertaining. Mercedes talking to the mini Monet. She's like, why am I talking to a puppet?
But then she's like, oh, the puppet's making points. Hold on. And how? Tell her not to screw things up. She said, don't screw things up. Harley, like, being disappointed and then, like, coming around of, like, Monet Wrath Train. Like, oh, so good.
And then her doing the dance when they came out.
Yeah.
Like... Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And I love the fact that they just keep losing as a team. That all of Mercedes' losses in AEW is just from teaming with Harley and Harley losing for their team.
As they should, honestly. Like that's the bit at this point. But it's still just the chemistry they have is so good. So I don't know why they're not selling Monet puppets. I can venture a guess that those things might be a little bit more difficult to put together in a way they want to put them together. And what I mean by that is Harley has said, like she's the one that made the puppet. Like she made it. And then she used like her own gear on it. The gear maker and AEW like put all of that together. I don't know if there is like a cost-effective way to put something like that together to sell it, because obviously you're not going to spend. I don't know how much Harley Cameron spent on it, but I'm sure it costs some time and some money just to put the one puppet together. And like, if you're going to sell these things, you want to do it in a cost-effective way. You don't want to. It's going to take you 5 hours to make. It's going to end $200 to make. And we're going to sell them for $30. Like you're losing a bunch of money on that one. So that's where I'll try to give AEW a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Is I don't know if there's cost effective way to make these puppets. Maybe there is. I'm not in merchandising. That's not my specialty, but there's my explanation as to why maybe they don't do that.
Yeah, I understand. Like it probably costs a whole bunch of money, so it's difficult unless you're gonna buy the puppet at like $200-$300 a
Oh,
pop.
they would. And people are saying like do a limited run. Like I guarantee if you put like 50 of them on sale for $200, like they'd probably sell out.
Yeah,
Honestly, they probably would. So I think they are leaving some money on the table of not doing it. I just don't know. Again, like if what the cost to do it would be. So, yeah.
fair.
All right. Wrestling mania, allegedly. That's a thing. That's
Are we
happening.
doing stand and deliver first, and
Oh,
then
yeah. That's a
WrestleMania?
show. All right. Let's run through Stand and Deliver right quickly. We had a kind of, we've been talking about these shows for weeks and weeks now. So if anybody wants our in depth thoughts on them, you can go back and listen to the archives. But I got a lot of stuff to listen to in about 20 minutes with Pat McAfee because he's got so many guests on and I got so much more work ahead of me today. But let's run through Stand and Deliver. Women's tag team title number one contenders match. This is on the Countdown show. Fatal Influence against Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley against Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. I've said it. I think Roxanne and Cora are winning, and then they are going to win the titles on Tuesday. That's where I'm at.
I only see that happening if Bailey and Lyra get the win, and my prediction, spoiler alert, is not that. So I'm gonna go with the Meta Girls for the win.
Okay. The just fight, brawl, no cops allowed. Dark State against the Angelo family.
No snitching either. Stitches get stitches, Tony. I'm gonna go with Dark State. My boy Cutler James with the upper Cutler getting the win. LFG represent.
Yeah, I think Dark State's winning this as well. Tag team titles: Frazier and Axiom against Hank and Tank.
Honk, honk. It's time for the Hank and Tank movement to begin. Shout outs to Kate, who is on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel for our Stand and Deliver preview. She came up with the greatest thing to do. Hank and Tank win, and then Fraxium debuts on the Raw after WrestleMania and beats the New Day. Spoiler alert on my other pick.
They beat New Day and take the tag titles from New Day because I think New Day.
Yeah.
I don't love
it. WWE don't care about the New Day, so why should we with our predictions?
I don't love it. I think Frazier and Axiom continue their run here.
They're ready for the main roster.
I agree, but
they're ready for the main roster, and the main roster, especially Raw, needs a tag team like Fraxium.
I'm with you. I just don't think it's happening. Women's North American Championship ladder match. Zarya, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka, Izzy Dame, Lola Vice, and everyone knows my pick. The GOAT, Thea Hale, is winning this thing. She's going to be hopped up on the coffee, immediately climbing the ladder, taking the title down, match over. Oh, remember those SmackDown games? You could do that because there was like no struggle to get the title. So you could literally like run up the ladder 2 seconds into it and just grab it and win the match. Because there was no like mini game. Yeah,
like
there was no
SmackDown
mini
2
game
was like that.
Yes. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. They don't need to be taking ladder bumps at 5 a.m. Don't do that to them.
Yep, they do. They do, because Kalani Jordan, she's an expert in this matchup. She won the inaugural 6-way ladder match to win the Women's North American Championship. Zarya and Sol Ruka, they got their whole story of being kind of the mismatched tag team, different personalities that have come together to make Zaruka. And I think that Zarya, she would be very helpful. It would help her out a lot for her to win this matchup and get that spotlight put on her, since her coming in at Julia with the same time as Julia and Stephanie Vicaire really handicapped what NXT could do with her. And Sol Ruka has been ready for championship goals. She just won the Speed Championship on Wednesday on Twitter, unless you don't watch that, which I don't either, so don't worry. But I heard that she did win the Speed Championship, so she could be two-belt Soul. You got her in there. You got Lola Vice, who's kind of been put on the back burner for a while here, that could get the win in this one here, but Unfortunately. Oh yeah, there's Izzy Dame as well. There's Izzy Dame for the culling. She's with Sean Spears, so I don't care. But then there's Thea Hale. Thea Hale just came back. Why are you going to bring her back just for her to lose? I think Thea Hale is going to be the new Women's North American Champion.
You know who I'm going to assume is a big fan of Thea Hale because I think he's making coffee right now? It's our pal Cam Hawkins.
Oh, look at this guy.
Hello, Cam. He's got the wide shot going here.
He's got the wide shot. He's making a coffee. He's got his muscles out.
Hey guys,
how you doing, buddy?
What's going on?
Are you having coffee? Is that what
I am having coffee?
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Coffee by itself. There's nothing added to it, just coffee.
Oh, look at that.
He said, "Oh,
I can't do just straight coffee. I gotta have like creamer, sugar."
Yeah.
I'm telling my brother. My brother was saying that he was like, "There's no cream and there's no sugar." I was like, "No, I drink my coffee black. I don't like to dress it up. I don't." Mm-mm. Yeah,
this man out here with straight black coffee, black power.
Yeah, man.
I represent.
Yeah. This is shout out to Drew. Hey, thank you. Yeah, just some real adulting is happening right now. Yeah, man.
This man is up so early after being at Wale Mania.
You know what's crazy? We didn't even go out afterward. The funniest thing happened. So, you know, like any good party, everything spills to the street at the end of the night and everybody's like hanging out. The thing about Vegas is you're hanging out. It's not even a parking lot. When you exit Brooklyn Bowl, you're literally in the middle of a bunch of other restaurants and bars and spots, right? So nobody's asking you to leave. You're just there. We're standing outside. We're like, you know, we're taking pictures where you seem paid in full. You're on the set. You're taking pictures. You're taking videos. You're dapping up. Me and the professor are trying to create viral moments. You know, we're doing our thing. So I see somebody who's very well dressed and very fit with shades on in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh, it's Mello. And he comes up to me. He's like, hey, I guess I'm a little late. Yes, Mello, you missed the entire thing. Yeah. So like we dap up real quick and he takes off. But yeah, it was so fun because that's who he is. Like he's him and Trick. I really like this about them. Like they will hang out, but it's very business-like, you know. I'm coming in, I'm saying what's up, shaking hands, and I'm gonna keep moving around. It was very fun to see. Because I really haven't physically seen him since he's moved to SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like we talk every now and again about how he's doing, but it was very nice to see him. Like it's really cool to see like a Mello, a Chris Bay, you know, like guys who you watched when they started to really catch fire, and to get to see them like out in the real world, even if it's brief. And Chris, he's in great spirits. It was great to like catch up to him real quick. I made him have a bunch of big grins. It was really fun. We took some pictures. It was cool. But yeah, Mello, just the most like on purpose tone deaf person when it comes to partying. Like you knew the party was over when you came, and he has the most immaculate like Jodeci fucking jean fit on, not a wrinkle in sight. It's like, no, you knew what you were doing, but it was very nice to see you. So yeah, it was cool.
How's the rest of the week been? When'd you get in? Tuesday or Wednesday?
I got in Wednesday. Wednesday. It was amazing. So we got in Wednesday. The first thing that we did on Wednesday was go to I think I went to a show right when I touched down at the Palms. It was whatever show GCW had.
Yeah, the ID show, GCW WWE ID show.
Thank you for reminding me. Absolutely didn't go.
Okay.
Absolutely did not go. No, because what happened was I was shooting stuff for the Uncrowned Social. So we went to the Palms and filmed something for WWE ID, but didn't like actually go. I kind of forget that I like know people, so we didn't go. But we took that. My lady's birthday was Monday, so we went to a steakhouse, and then Wednesday night we went back to the Palms. What show was Wednesday night, Jeremy?
There was a lot on Wednesday. Oh yeah, Dragon Gate was Wednesday night. Yeah.
Yo, Dragon Gate was Wednesday night. Me and Joel linked up. It was great.
I'm sorry.
Yo, Joel, nobody in the history of the world has ever looked exactly like what you think they look like more than Joel. It's crazy. Like the face, the dimensions. Like it was like, oh, this is exactly who I talked to online. It was great. And he's the sweetest heart. It was great.
No.
Me and my little brother came in to hang out with me because I wanted him to experience WrestleMania. So Joel came and sat with us. Also, you should have seen me. I think my brother and MLJ look alike. My brother was not having it. I was like, hey, that's the guy you look like. He was like, nah. So you can imagine like there being a running thing for like 2 years. And he was like, nah. I was like, oh, you just shut all that shit down. But it was great catching up with Emil. My man Jordan, the announcer with the mustache and the hair. It was great to see him. Yo, I got to see Ultimo Dragon wrestle.
Hell yes.
And I can't
awesome.
like Timeless is one of those things we throw around. But he really is. Even if it's not the exact same, hang time, the exact same pop, he's still very much Ultimo Dragon. It was great to see him. What's my man? Jason Ayer's kid is a wrestler. I know Joe came on here and said that he's nice. He's nice.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's really cool. So that was Wednesday. Yesterday was one of the most incredible days of my life. It really was. And you know what heightens it is I got to spend it with my brother. I got to spend it with my lady, and they got to really be a part of that. But also I fucked it up. I fucked it up early and often. I got this thing where once I have it in my head that I know what's going on, I'm just going to ride on that, right? So we were at the Palms getting ready for the Ashe show. Shout out to Darius Lockhart for what he's put together. We're there, and I'm texting Faye Jackson. I'm like, yo, we at the show. And she's like, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And 20 minutes passes, 30 minutes passes, 40 minutes passes. She's not hitting me back. I'm like, damn, man, I thought we was way tighter than this. Turns out, show wasn't at the Palms.
Yeah, the Palms is all like the GCW stuff.
Yeah, it's the collective.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, I get sick of Faye. Again, Faye's done nothing. I get sick of Faye. So I just go over there, and I have the tiniest bit of pull. So I'm like, yo, we were at Faye Jackson. We do a media. I know you saw me yesterday doing my thing. We need to go in. So they give me the wristband to go in. It ain't no thing. So we in there, and I see Little Evil. I don't know if y'all know Little Evil. Little Evil was the Inspire Pro champion in Austin forever. So he's local to me. I'm like, what's up, Little Evil? Baby, what's good? I'm dapping him up. I'm watching all these white folks walk in that paid tickets to go to the show. Then I see Little Evil, and I'm like, Then I see Robert Gibson backstage, and I'm like, Then I see on the big Titantron my girl, local girl, Vert Vixen. I'm like, wait a minute. This doesn't seem like an Ashe show.
You went to the wrong show.
I went to the wrong fucking show, SP3. So we book it
twice.
Right.
You went to the wrong show.
We book it over to Ashe. It's 20 minutes away, and it was still great, man. It was you look to your left, you look to your right. I can. It's so many names, it doesn't even feel right. My content creator, my social media editor, Kel Dansby, is there. He's sitting next to Andreas Hale, who is down the road from the Professor, TikTok famous, right? You got Black Wrestling in there. You got my girl, Lovely Laveau, in there. Faye Jackson's on the show. Kev on stage is on commentary. Sarah the Rebel, who gets a bad rap for not supporting us. Sarah the Rebel is square in the middle of the audience showing love. Val Pancakes is there. It's the craziest collection in a smaller room of people where you're everybody. It was so cool, man. And that's not even talking about the show itself. Yo, man like Darice might be the MVP of the weekend. Whoa. And I don't even like
really good.
I hate that place. But he's a Are you still over there, SP3?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Hey, you gotta. Hey, we gotta
Me,
play on this
man
one.
like Darius, Leon Slater, we representing the
Man
culture
like
out here.
Darius and Leon Slater went 1-on-1, and it's just that thing where it's like,
Ooh, nice.
I tell Stephen Wolf and Exodus Prime, I'm like, yo, a lot of people are good. What y'all do is on another level. And watching those two go, but they was going like in that accent with them words, and I was like, it's tight, but it could be tighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. But no, they smoked it. What a show, man! I just texted Darius Carter like, you're a fucking star, dude. Like he's oh god. I'm talking about all this black excellence. Here comes this one.
Here comes black excellence at its finest. What's up?
More black excellence. Here's Sean Ross Sapp. Jesus Christ. But no, that was a phenomenal show. Listen, that was my first time seeing Jada Stone in person. I understand exactly why Bailey wore that t-shirt. Bro, it is you can teach babyface, but he just has it. That kid is incredible, man. Jada Stone was so fun. I think my little brother, who's not super into wrestling, it was the Killer Bees. So Danny B and Charity King against Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Incredible. Just an incredible match. That was such a fun show. Kev and Darius got into it. Like, Ashe was so fun. And again, you'll probably never, and it might happen in Fourth Row tonight, right? You'll probably never have a collection of like black writers, podcasters, content creators in a space like that ever again, because people move on to other things. You know what I mean? Like, it was just such a cool room. I was disappointed that Phil and Reg hadn't flown in yet, because of course they would add to that. But it was really, really fun. We took a bunch of pictures afterwards. I tell them, like, last year we had Big E's brunch, and my man Trey from We Love Wrestling, he passed away a few weeks after we did that. And so I told him, like, yo, we got to take these pictures while we can. You know what I mean? Like, celebrate these moments when we can. It was really great. And then guys, somebody had the bright idea to put me on commentary on a show.
Yes.
It was amazing. I had so much fun. It was West Coast Pro. Shout out to them. Listen, man, I've never been, not the tallest man in the world, but I can touch rims. So don't let nobody lie to you about that. But to be thrown so many alley-oops on commentary, for somebody to really lead me, was amazing, man. That was so fun. I got to call a Danny O'Ryan match. And if you've seen me on the socials, I've hyped him up as the best out of the state. Danny O'Ryan's an amazing wrestler out of Central Texas. And thank God he won the match, because I was gassing his head. Thank God he won. But it was that was a lot of fun to bring the story full circle. When we were doing DreamCon in Austin, I interviewed my man Evizu, who's a Twitch streamer, typically does like Smash Brothers, right? So we're doing an interview. Like, yo, I love pro wrestling. I would love to do wrestling commentary. So I was like, hey, I called my man at Fat Kids Deals. Shout out to Fat Kids Deals. I got so many baby wipes in my house with no baby.
I got a PlayStation 5 at cost because of that guy. When I sarcastically posted it when they were at their hottest, I was like, who wants to sell me one at cost? And he hit me up and he's like, I'll do it. And I was like, what?
So
I'm joking.
That's the man that runs West Coast Pro. So I was like, yo, my man wants to do commentary. So he started to become a regular. So I was like, yo, I'm going to be out in Vegas. Like, I love to do some stuff. He's like, what you want to do? I was like, I mean, commentary sounds cool. He's like, hey, have you ever met Evizu? I was like, bitch, you met him because of me. That was me to set that up. You don't remember? But no, man, that was incredible, man. I got to call up Vinny Massaro and Masha Slamovich.
Love Vinny.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
awesome.
yo, Vinny, let me tell you about Vinny. That might have been, that's the moment. So it's before the show. We're outside, like, talking. And shout out to Tankman and Blackwood. Two of my favorites, man. Just getting to talk to them, like, it is super cool. Like, I love Blackwood to death. That smile, $1 million smile. Both of them have $1 million smiles. But me and Vinny are backstage, and Vinny's like, "Why are you causing problems?" I said, "Vinny, what's up? What I do, baby?" He was like, and Vinny proceeded to break down. Can I say the P word on here?
Yeah.
Say all the other words. You sure?
Yeah.
Vinny proceeded to break down how pussy Discord is. He was like, so they found out that she was going to be on the show. And then they got mad she was going to be on the show. So then they went to a private server to talk about not coming to the show because they were mad that you were on the show. I said, Vinny, that's exactly what happened. He was like, that sounds like a lot of bullshit to me. I was like, Vinny, you're so correct. It was very sweet. But no, getting to call this match was super cool. Again, one of the nicest guys in the entire world. I again was blessed to be in that position. Somebody was very nice. Like, they tweeted like, "Yo, we got to get Seahawk on commentary more often." I was like, "Oh, great." And bye, Sean. You got sick of me. And the coolest thing about commentary, they have a candy bowl right in front of you, like, to keep your energy up.
Oh,
I don't
nice.
eat candy, really. I was eating Skittles and blow pops, all kinds of shit. It was great. It was amazing. I got to see Lyric twice. Shout out to Lyric Wrestling. And
yeah, shout out to Lyric.
At the Palms, and she was at the West Coast Pro Show. So, like, somebody who, one, you respect, two, you put a little money in their pocket one time. Like, it was really cool to see her. Be like, yo, like, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And she was the sweetest soul. And then, guys, so I told him I have a hard out at 5:00 because the doors open at Wale Mania at 7. So I come back to the hotel thinking that my brother and my lady are going to be ready to go. Man, they was in here asleep, man. They was not. So me and Suzette Priester from Hit Club Pro, we ended up going early, and it was I don't even know how to describe it. Like, you know, I've said it a million times about what that is. It's great. As soon as we get up to the green room, Sid Alexander is there. He's in the best spirits. Got to see Chris Bay. Got to kick it with Titus for a while. Of course, you know, AJ Francis. You know, Zilla was up there with the 4th rope belt. Jeff Hardy was there. He was great. Trinity was there. Jay was there. Jay had like his own like dancers out there. He's confident going into Sunday. They had a battle rap that did not scare the hoes. It was incredible.
Because they had real battle rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the real battle rappers scared the hoes. And again, hoes,
yeah, that's true. This is
hoes
also
don't
true.
know gender or sex or creed or anything. But the hoes was not scared. It was very engaging watching a tag team battle. There's this one flip they did where they dropped the and then everybody in the building, oh, you didn't know? It was incredible. It was great, man. You know, and Wale came out, he did his thing. Yeah, just a really fun night. Listen, everybody's not close with every wrestler. I wish you guys could be around Big E, around Chris, because it's just his heart's full.
So on that point, so I've been watching a lot of stuff over the past couple of weeks, but Big E has been, or the last couple of days, Big E has been hosting the Fanatics Silent Live with Tyler Breeze, and everyone who comes on, they've had Charlotte on, they've had Nikki Bella, they've had Seth, they've had Drew. I think those are the 4. All of them have said the same thing. They are all just like, it's so cool to see you, like what you're posting on Instagram. Like you just look so happy, and they clearly love Big E as well. And you can tell that like they have a lot of admiration for him. Literally every single, even Drew was like, you know, Drew's in character. He's trying to rip on everything. Even Drew was like, oh, what you're doing, Instagram, it's heartwarming. I hate it. You know, but every single one of them talk about that. So I fully buy that.
Yeah, that is in real time. Like it's so great to see. because he's traveled the world with his two buddies who are married and have kids and very fulfilling lives, and to watch him be like engaged like that is so fun. You're just happy for the guy, you know what I mean? Like this is selfishly probably before, but this is the first time I remember really having a long conversation with him that had nothing to do with pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, it was just watching him in the moment. And listen, she lights up a room, man. Like, yeah, to be the sister of the wrestler, she just lights up a room, and everybody knows her. You know what I mean? Like, she has relationships with all of the wrestling adjacent people, I guess I should say. You know what I mean? It was great. And I got to talk to Woods a little bit about the thing that we did with the New Day, with Andrea, who produces Wale Mania, with Kaz, who runs Wale Mania, and with Megaran, who they're tight with, who does their music. So me and Woods got to talk about that piece that we did. He appreciated that. JoJo was there. I met JoJo for the first time, and she's a sweetheart. She actually came in with Samantha and Ricochet. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm so sick of Ricochet. But they are they're actually very sweet. That was I think I told you guys this when I wrote the piece on Ricochet for Yahoo. Me and Samantha collaborated on that. And so getting to be with them was really cool. And Ricochet, he's actually a funny guy. He really is a funny guy. And they're married now. It was fun to celebrate them. And then I had to do my annual make fun of Omos moment.
I saw that on socials.
What are you doing with the camera? Like, what are you shooting? All you catch is forehead. Like, what are we doing? But he's one of the best guys. I think one of the coolest things about the night, not that people can't do it, nobody talked wrestling, man. You know what I mean? Nobody talked wrestling. It was having fun. If this is the last one, like Wale said, I think they went out great. It was a very fun time. And nobody was lit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got in trouble. Everybody made it home safe. And that's what you got to count on. So a very, very fun time. Yeah, I just looked at my computer and I was like, yo, is it really 11 o'clock? Get the fuck out of here.
Don't you have media soon? It's
not 11 o'clock. So it's they did 2 media days. So Joel's at one right now in a suit.
Yeah.
That was cool. Y'all should have seen me. Not that it's been a while since I bought a suit. And I may have been in the gym for a little bit. I tried on all 5 of my sport coats before I left. None of them bitches got past the elbow. It was not happening.
Wearing that extra medium out there, Cam.
Dog, it was not happening. That double medium was not hitting. So yeah, man, it didn't work out. But so no, he's at media day now. There's another one going on at a bit later in the day. I literally was on the elevator, and there was a gentleman in some type of non-WWE t-shirt. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to go to WrestleCon after media. Thanks for reminding me. Because I really thought the only thing we had was my lady and my brother want to go to the Superstore because Travis Scott dropped merch. So my brother wants to go get that. So I was like, okay, well, y'all will do that. I'll go do media. I'll catch up with y'all a little bit later. So I was like, oh, I have like the day free. I can like go to whatever, or I can go take a nap or do whatever. Nope. I told him I'm going to WrestleCon. So guess what? I'm going to be up in WrestleCon, seeing what's popping. I got to go catch up with my girls from Wrestling Wind Down. That's super important. Love them. But really the only thing I had today later was West Side Gun show at midnight. I think it's going to be very similar to what Ashe was, a bit more open. His profile's a bit different, but I think that's going to be really fun. And I don't know if they're listening to this. I don't want to go to night 1. I want to go to the Cabana and hang with like my people and go to night 2. Like, it's a lot of wrestling, guys.
He's like, too much wrestling for me.
Do you know where the Heels Have Eyes show is?
It's at the Palms. I know.
Okay, all right.
It's really at the Palms.
Yeah, gotta double check.
It's really at the Palms. Yeah. Oh,
just
God.
making sure.
Oh, hey, Jeremy. I did write a thing this week.
I saw you wrote. I saw
Something
you
that came out
wrote
this
the
morning.
Bret Hart piece. I
Yeah.
saw that. I've not gotten a chance to read it, but you know whose timeline it actually appeared on was Nikias Duncan. He was on our show earlier this week.
Really?
Talking, yeah, we had him on because playoffs start this week, so we wanted to talk basketball, and also I knew he was a wrestling fan, so I reached out and I was like, "Hey, do you want to come on?" He's like, "Oh, it sounds like fun." And I mentioned you. I was like, "I think we have a mutual friend. Cam Hawkins is a pretty regular on our show at this point." He's like, "Oh yeah, Cam is great." So yeah, I actually saw you did this article because he retweeted it. So
you know our connection though, right? Outside
you've
of
said
this
it.
meeting?
You've said it before. Isn't it has to do? Is it with Shay?
So Steve Jones, his podcast partner,
Okay.
we live in the same suburb.
Okay.
So like Steve comes to my place to watch AEW pay-per-views.
Oh,
And he gets really loud.
That's awesome.
Steve's a giant human, so I'm like, hey, settle down. But yeah, no, Steve Jones is my man. That's like one of the few times I impressed like my non-wrestling friends. I'm like, no, yeah. He's like, I listen to Ducker Spot all the time. I'm like, no, Steve lives like down the street. Yeah, man, that's my guy. So, yeah.
We played the Tony Khan Giannis clip for the
He
Caius.
lost it.
He never heard it before. He's like, this is amazing. He's like, we're gonna have to steal this for our show.
The energy. Oh my god. Brett was I might have said this to y'all, but like, whereas Jeremy, you're very good at what you do. I've watched you properly interject with wrestlers who I've watched you interview Paul London. That's what I'll say. So I've watched you wrangle Paul London in for whatever that's worth. Listen, man, Brett got the mic. I'll let Brett just talk for 20 minutes. And it was the right thing to do because he hits all the notes. I had a list of like 9 questions and Brett he hit them all. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's Bret Hart. He broke it down so well. And all I had to do was, the computer's getting old. All I had to do was paint the picture a little bit. You know what I mean? Brett made it very, very easy. I bought the dust thing. It's a glass table too. It's fine. Who cares? But yeah, the Brett thing came out this morning. I'm gonna go do a couple of things for Uncrowned today, tomorrow, Sunday, and hopefully just get out of here alive. But we'll see. All right.
We pray for you.
The computer's about to explode. It's literally telling me like I gotta keep it. I don't know. Do you keep it up to 88? What was the busing speed? What was that speed? The DeLorean's 88, 68?
Speed was over 55, right?
Yeah.
55?
Yeah.
This bitch is humming. Okay, guys. Appreciate you as always.
Enjoy yourself, man.
Enjoy, Cam.
Y'all have a good one, man. And listen, SP3, watch out for them boys. I've been talking crazy, man. I literally said, I was like, yo, there's a man like Maurice. I was like, hey, he's on do-rag number 3. And this one got diamonds.
You see my man?
Business. And then somebody kicked it off. I was like, damn, no waves under there. He's in trouble. So
he ain't doing it right. He ain't brushing before he put it on.
watch your back. I'll catch up with y'all, man. Stay up.
Appreciate you, Cam.
Yeah,
Enjoy the rest of your week. There we go. Cam Hawkins making a surprise run. And Sean was here. He didn't say 2 words. That's the most quiet Sean has ever been. Sean popped on and immediately.
My daughter said, "Shut the fuck up" to him or something like that.
You know what Sean actually did is he posted this in our media. This is the WrestleMania stage. It was revealed on Pat McAfee's show just a few moments ago. So there you go. Giant WrestleMania stage as always.
Mm-hmm.
Looks fine. Yeah, it looks good. Like they're never going to top the Orlando one. They're never going to top that.
The only one that came close was 39. I thought 39 was immaculate.
39 was Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was good. Yeah. This one kind of has like a similar vibe because it's like a 2-story type thing. Yeah, 39 was good. Yeah. All right, let's get back to running this down because I got to listen to Roman Reigns and Triple H and Steve Austin and all these people. We're both picking Thea Hale because as we should. Women's Championship, Stephanie Vaquer defending against Julia, Jada Parker, and Jordan Grace. Who you got?
I got Stephanie Vaquer to retain.
I think it would be a dumb call to switch the title off of her this quickly after you made her a double champion and then did this stupid relinquish nonsense. North American Championship, Ricky Saints against Ethan Page.
Ricky Saints. I think Ricky Saints win, and this is Ethan Page's swan song, his final NXT PLE before he gets called up.
All right. I can see that. I think Ricky wins as well. And NXT Championship, Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans. Who are you with here?
Oba wins, but Javon is going to be the one that dethrones him down the line.
Okay. I like that. I don't think Oba should lose any triple threat match. If he's going to lose it, have someone beat him one-on-one. So, yeah, I think Oba retains here as well. WrestleMania, Saturday, night 1. WWE World Tag Team Championships. The War Raiders against the New Day. I mean, you already mentioned it. You think New Day's winning and then dropping them to Fraxium.
New Day? Yeah, because WWE doesn't like them that much. But I do, so I got them winning.
I think they should win, and they should have a lengthy run with these things because we've talked about it on the show. They dropped the ball with these two after that Big E segment. And the fact that they're just now getting back around to making them where they should have won the titles at Rumble, if not earlier than that. And they should be having a much bigger match. But I'm glad they're at least on the card, unlike other tag team champions who cannot get on the card.
Who got roasted by Cameron, Killer Cam, telling him, what streets y'all from? What streets y'all from? And I know what that means because Cameron lived like 10 blocks away from me in Harlem. I used to see him when he made his first single. I used to see Jim Jones standing on 140th and 7 smacking people up. So he was roasted on Street Profits. Street Profits handled it great, but he was roasting them.
El Grande Americano against Rey Mysterio. Because this is not Mask vs. Mask, I kind of think El Grande Americano is going to win to set up Mask vs. Mask down the line.
I got Rey winning. I can see him trying to take the mask off, and then El Grande Americano has like face paint on under the mask, or he has another mask on. And that's how you keep it going.
All right. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, US title. Who you got in this one?
All gas, no brakes. Jacob Fatu. Yada da mean.
Yeah, it feels like this is Jacob's time. Naomi and Jade Cargill. Very interested in this one. I think there is an argument for Naomi to win and then potentially face a babyface Tiffany Stratton or Bianca Belair if she wins the title. I think there's a very strong argument for Naomi and the work she's done and riding this heel character a bit longer than just a feud with Jade, because I'm very worried if she loses, they drop the ball with her. And I do think she's going to lose though.
Yeah, I do too. I think that Jade Cargill gets the win, but I don't think this is the last time we see Naomi during WrestleMania weekend.
Okay. Women's Championship, the shoot fight between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. I can't wait for this. It's going to rule one way or another. It's going to rule. I think Charlotte's going to win, honestly.
Same. I was like, I don't see a world where Charlotte Flair allows herself to lose.
World Heavyweight title, Gunther against Jey Uso. I feel like the consensus is Jey here.
Yeet.
Hit the drop. Hold on. Gotta find the drop first. Did he get erased? Where's why? Oh, there. There we go. Way too long of a setup for that. And finally, the main event, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. We talked a lot about this match and the different possibilities, but at the end of the day, where do you think they're going, SP3?
I think they're going with Roman Reigns, thanks to the help of Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I kind of think it's Roman as well. I don't see him losing back-to-back Manias. I don't. I would like the Seth Rollins stuff if he aligns with Heyman, and then maybe Seth gets involved in the main event of night 2. Like there's some story you can do with Seth, but it's going to be hilarious when Roman stacks them both, honestly.
I just did in my head. He's never lost back-to-back Manias in his career. He lost at 31. He won at 32, won at 33, lost at 34, won at 35, didn't make it for 36, won at 37, won at 38, won at 39, lost at 40. He's winning. He's winning. The math is mathing for Roman.
He's gonna stack them both. It's gonna rule. Night 2, women's tag team titles. Liv and Raquel against Bayley and Lyra. I've already said I think Bayley and Lyra are winning.
I think Liv and Raquel are gonna win, retain.
Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. I think it would be a mistake that if Drew McIntyre loses.
Agreed. I got Drew winning.
Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor. A lot of options here. A lot of options. Where are you at on this one, SP3?
Which one you said again? I'm sorry. I'm on
Intercontinental title.
Okay. Dominic Mysterio. I got Dominic being the new champion. I think that's how you further the whole Judgment Day story.
I like the option of Dominic Mysterio winning. I think there's an argument to be made for Braun retaining and moving into a feud with AJ Styles, who defeats Logan Paul.
Okay. I could see that. As far as like AJ and Logan Paul, I got AJ winning because Logan Paul's gone over too strong, and I don't like Logan Paul. So
fair, very fair. Yeah, I think AJ's going to win. It's not going to shock me if Logan Paul wins. They just like
not at all
having him win matches. Women's World Title: Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Where are you at on this?
This is the one that I've gone like back and forth on. Everything else I've been pretty adamant from the beginning of the builds who I thought was going to win. This one I've gone back and forth on, but I really feel what Bianca said on Monday Night Raw was very telling. Instead of saying the bigger thing of I'm undefeated at WrestleMania since I got called up or something like that, she said I am unpinned. I've never been pinned at WrestleMania. So my guess is that Io pins Rhea due to interference from Naomi. I think Naomi comes out and you think that she's going to help Bianca, but she costs Bianca, takes her out of play. Io beats Rhea again. And then if they want, that can facilitate Rhea snapping and being a heel because she can't beat Io.
Okay.
So it helps out all the characters.
Okay. I like that. I think Bianca is going to win. I think they're going to keep this kind of WrestleMania streak thing alive and it be a thing moving forward. I'm fine with Io winning. I would kind of prefer Io winning. Jensen thinks Rhea is going to win, and I think that's the lamest possible.
That's the worst possible. I mean, Jensen also thinks about the main thing has a different result than everybody else for the main event, I'm sure. But I don't think that's wise to put the title back on Rhea.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes, John Cena in the main event. Feels like it's John Cena.
It has to be John Cena. That's the only thing that's going to make people keep watching afterwards. John Cena holding the belt hostage and all the babyface have to fight him and jockey for position to get the title back to save the company.
Yeah, I think it's got to be John Cena. Travis Scott gets involved, maybe. The Rock
gets involved.
Stone
Cold gets involved.
Maybe Stone Cold's there as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be John Cena. It's probably going to be another spectacle match like last year was, honestly. Because I think they saw what happened last year.
Randy Orton Open Challenge?
Somebody in the chat said Joe Hendry, which I don't know about that, but I don't think it's Nick Aldis. I know they've teased it. I don't think it's him. Honestly, I don't know. I don't have a great feel for who Orton is going to end up facing. Who are you leaning towards?
I like Nick Aldis the best, but if it's going to be an open challenge, I think maybe Rusev.
Rusev, okay, all right. See, but they got to win. I feel like Orton's winning. And that's why I don't know.
That's why I said Aldis is the best option because he can lose.
But see, I don't love that of like the general manager loses, and then you've got that weird dynamic between Orton and Aldis being the authority figure. Who
Orton's going to be on Monday Night Raw to build to Cena match at Backlash. So don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay.
All right.
It's gonna be okay. The dark horse I got is I've came up with the story myself thanks to Maggie and Cresta yesterday on the WrestleMania preview. Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy, because he wants revenge for Orton ruining Bray Wyatt's career.
Okay. I still like my Alexa Bliss idea where
I don't, but
oh, could you imagine if it's Butterbean? Hell yeah.
Oh god.
That's who it should be. Butterbean. That would rule.
Unless Orton he comes into the ring and Orton says this is for Bart Gunn and just RKO 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
You know who it should legitimately be though? SP3.
Oh god.
The lights go down, and all you hear is.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's go.
So you thought I was going the vanilla baby.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you thought that's where I
Sure.
was going. Nah, I got some tricks up my sleeve here. I got
like
some
it.
tricks up my sleeve. See?
I like
People thought I was going somewhere else. I was going Giannis Antetokounmpo. We got a bunch of super chats from D-Lo Diggs. I did not forget about you, D-Lo Diggs, because you were basically live super chatting your Butterbean and
live super chat.
Real quickly, Ryan Adams says, "What about that Mickey James performance? Man, just quit mentioning Meltzer stuff. Just knock it off. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't benefit anybody. Just stop."
And it messed you up. It messed
Yeah.
you up. You forgot the lyrics to Hardcore Country, it seemed. That was weird.
Which is like, you came to do pro wrestling. Well, I'm an entertainer. Like, well, what? Huh? Isn't one and the same? Like, in the pro wrestling, the entertainment aspect as well? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Glassdoor Gamer says, "Happy Friday. Can't say I'm excited for Underdog Megamania. WWE's back to their Monopoly era, crapping on fans and bad booking. It hasn't been a great week.
Not the worldwide leader anymore. The underdog.
That's right. Bet against us, like the New England Patriots after winning 5 Super Bowls. Bet against us. D-Lo Diggs, fight forever chant while in the corner. Bruh. 2 clock botches. I got to keep it going at this point. Round 3, technically 4. Is it done yet? I survived and I yelled too many times at Dan telling them to gain control like WWE security. I need something after that. That was doing so butter. Everyone watch this match. There will not be a more entertaining match than Minoru Suzuki and Butterbean all weekend. Nothing from WrestleMania is topping it. Nothing at all.
If you need a laugh and you need to realize how good we really do have it, Butterbean versus Minoru Suzuki.
Nothing stopping it. Nothing at all. All right, folks. Appreciate all the love today. Appreciate all the love this week. I hope everyone enjoys your weekend. If you're watching WrestleMania, if you're not watching WrestleMania, enjoy your weekend. The NBA playoffs start, the NHL playoffs start. I'll be way too stressed out about both of those to even care about professional wrestling. SP3, thank you so much for filling in Tuesday, Wednesday. You're already here on Tuesday and Thursday, but filling in on Wednesday and Friday. And yeah, I appreciate you, man. And I know you've had a long week as well, but I appreciate you talking with me every single day. Are you back on Monday? I
think so.
Okay,
I think Joel's
sure.
still there until Tuesday or so.
Yeah,
Joe will be back for a full episode on Wednesday. I'll be here
maybe.
Monday and Tuesday. Maybe, yeah, you never know.
Maybe.
I'll be here Monday and Tuesday. But yes, follow me Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I'll be live in 30 minutes with Jimmy Macaram over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel for AE Ramble, reviewing not only Dynamite, but yes, I bribed Jimmy Macaram to watch Collision. So we're going to be talking about Collision as well. First time And yeah, most definitely the last time, because I'm not going to bribe him again to watch Collision. But yes, first and last time, a full review of this week in AEW with both nights of Spring Breakthrough. So join us for that. And thank you to Jeremy. As always, I would not be spend all this time talking to anybody else but this man right here. Is through sickness, through everything, through writing articles while we're on live here and still keeping the conversation going while I hear him typing away and putting that business over on Fightful. This man is the hardest working man in wrestling media, and I appreciate him for that. And I'm gonna always compliment him and praise him because I know how much he hates it. That's the best way to insult him, is to compliment him, because he doesn't know how to handle it. I love Jeremy Lambert.
SP3, right now you're being a
big dick rider.
Everyone enjoy WrestleMania weekend or NBA playoff weekend or NHL playoff weekend. Thank you again to
Happy
SPJ.
Easter. Happy 420.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.